What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. It is, in fact, just another Friday night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck. Across me, the man who knows the bottom line every time, Double A Adamantium Adam.
Hey, everyone, what's going on? Happy Friday. Happy Fool's Day, or April Fool's Day.
Yeah, happy April Fool's Day. I don't think there's any two bigger fools than us, right?
First Friday. Yeah.
First Friday, that too, if you're here in San
Antonio.
Fiesta. Man, Double A, how was the week, brother?
It was slow.
It was a week, right? It was a week. Yeah. I'm in the midst of a new job, so it's been
sort of
learning. Sort of. Yeah, learning, work in progress. Justin in the house says, "What?" Justin, welcome, brother. Welcome. Hope you stick around for this one. Allie in the house with a thumbs up. Allie had a great suggestion for a show, Double A, I'm going to tell you about in a second.
All right.
Jason is in the house. He says, "What's up, bros?" Jason, don't worry, I did not forget the beer. Facebook user in the house says, "What in the actual fuck? You just keep disrespecting me, Chucky." And then they put a smiley face.
Tell us who you are, please.
Tell us your name, Facebook user. If you're watching us via our group, the Friday Night Faithful, I do not see your name. So if you want to join us via YouTube or our page, Just Another Friday Night page, I will see your name. If you are following and liking us, and I don't really know how it works, but when you join to the group, I don't see your name, so I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if I disrespected you. No one really calls me Chucky, so that's unusual. WrestleMania season indeed, Facebook user, and if that is more than one of you,
the biggest weekend of wrestling. So
absolutely, the biggest,
everyone,
the showcase company, of the immortals.
Every company comes to wherever WrestleMania is going to be to make money.
Even our local promotion, RCW, is on their way.
Ring of Honor has a show tonight too. Impact has a show, I believe, tomorrow. So yeah,
AEW.
You know what? They might be the only one that's not doing it.
Although they are Ring of Honor technically.
Yeah, because they got a few AEW wrestlers tonight.
Yeah.
On the pay-per-view.
Go ahead with the hint, Facebook user. I'm ready. Double A, I was surprised and shocked to see that I showed up here to this, the event bigger than the Oscars, wearing the same outfit as you. I'm blown away. Who would have thought? We were dressed alike. Who are you wearing? Prada, WWE. I'm wearing WWE. My name has 2 letters, and I know more about about wrestling than you. Oh, hell yeah. I don't know. That sounds made up, so you're going to have to do better than that. But you know what it is? The problem is that I have been going too long without having a drink. And Double A, I know you're in the. Oh, you're ready.
Yeah,
you're ready.
I'm ready.
Double A, I've got notes actually because I know I'm going to ask. You know what I'm going to ask you about the world of pop culture. So I would like you to start with me. What you heard about in the world of pop culture this week, as I used to say back in the day, adrenalize me, Double A.
Well, for us, the big thing would be Moon Knight, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's finally on. It finally debuted. I loved it. What did you think?
I was actually shocked and surprised that my nephew wanted to watch this, and he said, "Hey,
it is kind of different, right?"
Yeah, he said, "Hey,
the other shows.
Have you watched it?" I said, "No, I haven't watched it yet." We put it on. I'm a Batman All-Star, and so are you.
Hey.
Oh, is this our guy CJ from Canada? CJ, if that is you, my friend, I am so glad and happy that you are here joining us via the group. I wish that I could see your name, sir. Yes, a huge graciousness to you being here, and I will admit that your knowledge about, especially modern wrestling, definitely greater than me.
Oh.
CJ is a great guy, Double A, who we are going to get on the show in the next few months to talk about something that we can all chop it up over. I cannot wait for what it is. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this probably would have been ideal. But stick around and join us.
No, if it is true what you're saying, I'd rather have a bigger platform than this one.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
absolutely. And CJ is our guy in Canada, man. So we would love to have a representative of the Hart Foundation and the Mountie in the house.
Dino Bravo, the Mountie, Jericho. The list goes on and on.
Absolutely. Jason says, I am looking at SmackDown now. Great.
Yeah, today's the Hall of Fame 2, which I'm probably going to check out after we're done with this because the Steiner brothers are in there.
Nice.
Man, oh man, I fucking love the Steiner brothers.
Great
fucking team.
Great team, man. And I know a lot of people were happy to hear that Scott Steiner would have a live mic in his hands again.
Yeah. You know? I was kind of surprised too. I don't know how he accepted it. He said he was never going to accept it, so I don't know what changed his mind. Maybe it's Braun.
Yeah.
Maybe he told his uncle, like, hey, Uncle Scott.
I didn't know they were related.
Yeah, Rick Steiner. That's Rick Steiner's son.
No shit.
Yeah,
really?
So Scott Steiner's his uncle.
And Rick Steiner, he's alive still?
Yeah,
he's doing okay?
Yeah.
He's doing
he has
good.
his own business, his own real estate business.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. I always loved how Rick would crawl around and pee on people.
When he came out when Braun won the title.
No kidding.
Rick
I don't
out.
even remember that. That's fucking rad to hear.
Yeah.
See, there you go. One more thing I did not know about wrestling in that sense. What else, W? We're talking Moon Knight. So tell me your thoughts. You liked it definitely different, like you said.
I liked it. I liked the vibe. I liked the tone. I'm kind of hoping they go towards this kind of like monster segment. I hope they keep doing it. Oscar Isaac was really good.
I thought he was great.
Ethan Hawke was fucking scary. I loved Ethan Hawke. It was funny when I saw it was F. Murray Abraham that was the voice of the god, so that was kind of funny,
Man, how fantastic! I was like,
man, F. Murray Abraham. That was
Khonshu.
Yeah,
we haven't gotten the name yet, but I think we all know. If you know even a modest amount about Moon Knight, you know that. So pretty cool. I did not know that was the.
I didn't know either until I saw the credits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I always like to see him. All the way to the end.
Because you never know, right? If they're going to have something at the end of a Marvel thing.
I think WandaVision used to throw in some stuff every now and then.
Sometimes you would get something here and there.
Yeah, so I liked it. I really liked the tone of it. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Corey says, "Oh my God, hoping to touch base on Moon Knight." We're talking it right now, Corey. Now's your time.
But just for a little bit, we're gonna.
That
go
show
really
was
deep.
the shit. Yeah, we'll do a deep dive later on, but by all means, Richard Castillo in the house. What's up, fellas? WrestleMania, Rich. We appreciate you being here, brother.
Ali told me that they were watching the new series that came out, WWE Evil.
Yes. And based on that, getting back to what I said earlier, Ali had a great idea. She said, have you done an episode just about the villains of wrestling? And I said, well, what do you mean? I said, they mainly go back and forth. But I said, wait, I guess you
would say like the deep ones. Like Ric Flair you would always consider a villain.
Right.
Vader a villain. Maybe Hollywood Hogan a villain.
That run. That's what I said. I said, we could focus on their particular runs as villains. Because there were some guys, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah,
villain.
97 Bret Hart.
Yeah. I mean, and that Hogan one, that Hollywood Hogan. I mean, that broke a lot of people's hearts, including my own. It broke my heart worse than Shawn Michaels could ever break it. That's for sure. How about Shawn and Marty? In that moment, the turn where I felt like
everybody, man,
I was like,
what?
Just like my childhood is not good.
I mean, there's like Bobby the Brain Heenan, there's Rick Rude, there's Mr. Perfect. You
even have Andre being evil for a while. You know what I mean?
It was the biggest threat to Hulkamania.
Taker.
Undertaker.
Again, another one that threatened Hulkamania. And even that threatened Hulkamania made you a villain. So, Ali, Rich, great idea on doing an episode about the villains. Maybe we can get CJ for that one. Yeah, CJ, would you be interested in that, brother? Coming on for an episode. We know that you're familiar with the Canadian villains, like the Mountie. And, again, we said Brett. Was Anvil ever bad? Like, they were good at that time.
Our Foundation was a bad team. We're bad guys.
And British Bulldog.
Yes. Oh, yeah, especially British Bulldog.
Yeah, definitely, man. Great. So great. I would love to have you on, man, and talk about that. That's a great idea. Facebook user, are we going to acknowledge the Snyder Cut winning fan cheer moment? Yes, I am. I have that written down. That was fucking atrocious, and I'm gonna get to that for sure. Corey also says, has anyone seen Morbius? I heard a lot of bad reviews on it. I did see it yesterday. Double A was gonna go Sunday, but his plans may have changed.
I got 2 bad reviews from people I trust. CM was one of them, and Roxanne, who you've seen many times on the show, she's told me too, and she's a huge vampire fan. That's the aspect she was going on. So she was
am I.
She was really disappointed in that. So I was like, maybe I'll wait.
We took super casual viewer with us, Aaron B. Friend and supporter, financial supporter of the Just Another Friday Night podcast, and he said he thought it was okay. he was like, it was all right. Like, it wasn't like, I think he was not blown away, but I also think he was not, but he's not really into those type of movies. He's into more like reality based stuff. Yes. But for him to say even that, because he also would see the Suicide Squad, and he really liked that one, obviously. Like that one. Yeah. So what else? Double A.
Kara says she loves Oscar
Isaac. Isaac. Definitely.
And Facebook user says, "Yay, I'm excited.
Let's do it. What else we got in there? Looks like the comments are coming in fast and furious right now."
Corey says, "Show was awesome and so different from what I'm used to. They changed show a little from comic, but I'm liking the direction so far." Okay, cool.
Now, Corey, let me ask you. You mentioned the comic book. Were you a big Moon Knight fan of the comic book before this show premiered? I know Friday Nighter Jerry D of Totally Rad Christmas was. He's a huge Moon Knight fan, and he says we absolutely have to have him on for that episode to talk Moon Knight.
Yeah, once I told him, that'd be fine.
I love to bring someone that has a knowledge from outside.
Yeah.
I did not grow up reading Moon Knight. I know Moon Knight probably from the Marvel cards, and that was it. Thought he looked cool. Didn't know much about him.
Same here. I didn't know either. I kind of went back, and I hate to say this because I know a lot of you aren't not fans of his, but I was listening to Rob Liefeld's podcast.
I think we just have one in particular, Friday night, that's not a big fan.
I think there's like 2 or 3. And he had a great show. It was kind of like about the history of Moon Knight, and it sounded really great. He's like, starts out, like the way he described it, which I'm not too sure if they're going to do it or not, but he's a mercenary that was hunting werewolf by night. And they kind of changed that story to where he had like 3 personalities: a rich guy, a street guy, and a taxi cab driver. Okay. So he was kind of like
interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to do that or not. So, and we have our Rob Liefeld guy.
There we go. The number 1 Rob Liefeld fan in all of comic.
Again, you've heard his podcast though. It's good. His podcast is good because he does give a lot of facts and shit like that about the comic history.
His George Perez episode, which I listened to in preparation of our George Perez episode, was so good because the man had first-hand encounters with him over many years. You're not going to get that type of takeaway anywhere else.
Yeah,
so
really not.
It's an invaluable life story of Rob Liefeld's, despite his apparent tendency to copy other people's art.
If you want to say that.
I don't know. I mean, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So I've been told. But what else? Double A, let's see. My comments are whizzing by us. This is
Facebook user. I'm guessing that's going to be it.
I think that might be CJ. So he says he's down.
I think this might be him too. I can also give you a Canadian side of Heel Brett when he was over like Rover
in Canada and disrespecting the U.S.
Great time, great over like Rover. Okay, that's
over like yes, okay. He was. Yeah, and that was really cool because
great time. Yeah.
He was getting pops big time in Canada crowds
all over the world.
Yeah,
except for here,
which is real. That's amazing heat to draw, especially from a guy like Brett, who maybe many don't consider to being great on the stick.
No, that year he was fucking killing it everywhere.
And how about the fact that Brett, was he being dirty at that time, winning dirty, or was he winning clean?
Yeah, no, he was doing his rule breaker again.
Yeah. But here's a guy that we know can win clean. Yes. Could win clean against most guys easily. Yeah. So that's great. I would love to talk that. We got the correction there. Rizzo says, regarding his very favorite artist, Rob Life. Just kidding with you, Rizzo. His history, yes, I know, yeah. Corey says, regarding was he a fan of the comic books? I was not, but I do a lot of homework before a show and we start, so I'm prepared for what's happening, much like y'all do. DC, I do Marvel.
We do. Well, see, the thing is, like, we have to do work on DC.
Because we don't know it as well as we know Marvel.
Because we know Marvel. Yeah. So there's not like a lot of prep time. Like when Infinity Gauntlet came out, we already knew the story. Mm-hmm. So we didn't need to go back and research it.
I knew it like a jewel in a glove.
Yeah. So DC, though, on the other hand, we're not too familiar. Like, I had no fucking clue who Peacemaker was. And I still don't. I had no clue who Vigilante was. And I still fucking know. I had no idea who Bloodsport was. I had no idea who fucking Amanda Waller was. I didn't know any of those.
No, I wasn't that familiar with Deadshot. I mean,
Deadshot. I was like, Oh, look, he looks like fucking Deadpool.
King Shark. I was like, man, they fucking.
Yeah.
I thought they brought in
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, like
I thought they brought in that laughing shark from Hanna-Barbera.
Corey, we do a lot of DC because DC's been pumping out this stuff more than Marvel has lately.
Yeah,
you know, and we have been doing the Marvel stuff when it
ends. Yeah, we definitely covered WandaVision, Loki.
Yeah,
I don't think we've missed a Marvel thing to cover.
We actually did Hawkeye when I think most people were not doing Hawkeye.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, we're huge fans of.
We're more Marvel. We are more Marvel. We love, you know, the Marvel comic stuff more.
A new Facebook user joins the group. I can definitely tell who this is. Jerry D of Totally Rad Christmas says, yo, 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 hope to see y'all at the Raddies. It's here in Arlington this year. Man, just right alongside WrestleMania? Hey, see, every big promotion is there. Totally Rad Christmas and the Raddies, who we are nominated. We will not be slapping anybody at the Raddies, nor are we going to let anybody slap anybody at the Raddies. So whichever one of you ratty bullies is out there, CJ, whoever it may be, don't think you're getting on stage and slapping anybody on just another Friday night to watch. It ain't gonna happen. But we're looking forward to the show, Jerry. You're a great host, and can't wait to see who comes away with the little trophy, the little man. I don't know if he's a gold Christmas tree or something like that, but a gold Christmas tree with 80 sunglasses, maybe. So let's see what's next, Double A. Anyway, got to put the kids to bed. That's Jerry. Yeah, that's what I say when we pick up a couple of these. Me and Double A, we're going to put the kids to bed. Corey says, I watch and rewatch the movies. I hit up Wikipedia and Marvel sites, watch reviews, and follow good YouTubers. Absolutely. Well, you're following the best YouTubers that there is right now. Double A, CM Chuck, just another Friday night. So we appreciate you joining. Double A, good stuff on Moon Knight. A few other things I have here that I wanted to talk to you about. We want to say, and let me crack this open again. We don't want to bury the lead on what we're talking about tonight, but if it's not obvious by our T-shirts, then you might have been missing the
background.
Show. Here we go. How about that? Yeah, or the background. How about that right there, Double A? We're cracking open a couple of cold El Segundo Steve Austin Broken Skull American Lagers. Oh, hell yeah. Let's see. How is it, Double A? I heard you say
I like it a lot better than the first one. It has a good aftertaste. I mean, it's smooth.
Oh, that's good.
It's
that's really good.
I like it better than the first one.
And yeah, we and Double A drank the IPA a long time ago, Broken Skull IPA. We drank one each. Remember, at the end of that show, we both said, "I feel a little bit buzzed." Though. He was like, "Yeah, shit, I agree with you." Double A said to me, "I want to say a big, huge." I cannot say a big thank you enough to my sister, Untamable Amy, who joined us last week on the Tim Burton episode. She rode all the way out
thanks, Amy.
to the Rim in San Antonio, Texas here, which is more than 40 minutes across town, to pick these up for us at Total Wine. It was the only liquor store near, liquor, wine, beer store near our house that had it available,
which is weird, right? I mean, he's from Texas.
Well, no, it was at Total Wine in Converse. It was at Total Wine at North Star. It was at Specs up there. They were all sold out. Double A. So this was the only one that, and they go, we just got in 5 cases. So I bought 2 cases, 2 4-packs at $11.99 each. So $25 on 8 beers. I feel you, Double A. Mine are acting up too, the allergy stuff.
Yeah.
So Amy, again, another toast to you, as we're about to toast to another great legend that we unfortunately lost this past week. Taylor Hawkins, Double A, of the Foo Fighters. Man, I love that band. I got drums with a lot of passion, recognizable drummer, very beloved, it seemed, by the music community.
I'm not a big fan of Foo Fighters, but they've been together for a long, long time.
Sure.
I mean, but you know what sucks though, and he's kind of like another guy, I guess. You know, he's 50 years old. He has a family, and it seemed like it was drug overdose. I'm like, golly, you know, these guys from the 90s, they just can't get away from that shit. You know, it's like another one from the 90s. It's kind of like, man, you know.
We've lost Cornell, we lost Whelan, we lost
Lane Staley,
Andrew
Wood. You know, I mean, Kurt.
I would say, Chester from Linkin Park was like right at the end of the 90s, at the 2000s, early 2000s, but still, man, it's like, fucking sucks, man. So, Taylor Hawkins, whatever the reason, man, you were still doing that stuff was, I mean, we don't all know your life and don't understand it, but I'm personally a fan of your music, and I can at least probably say Double A.
I like the drumming. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with Foo Fighters. I'm not a huge fan, but, if they came on the radio, I would listen to them.
Absolutely. So, to you, sir, to the Foos, to Dave Grohl, who we are both huge fans of, another drummer, cheers to you, sir. Rest in peace. Rest in power, Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it sucks. Let's see. Corey says here, respect. I'm a huge. I was huge in Batman and Superman and Flash, but the movies are so disappointing. Yep. Sometimes, for sure, I can agree with you on that. So there's a little bit that I learned today, for sure, man, for sure. Let's see some other things I wanted to talk about. Double A.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis walking away from acting
at
due
first,
to
when I heard it, I asked my wife because she's a nurse, and I was like, "What is that? What does that mean?" And she goes like, before they even said it, it was like, "Oh, he probably had a stroke or something." And sure enough, that's what the doctor said, that a stroke or something that's limited him real bad, where he can't do the acting anymore. So I was like, oof, so
yeah,
that kind of sucks.
It affects his memory, right? He can't remember like lines and stuff no more.
No, and it's going to affect his speech and everything. So it's kind of like, golly.
Yeah, yeah, super sad, man. I saw that he had gotten a Razzie, and that the Razzies, said they rescinded. They took the award. They don't deserve that if you're obviously afflicted by a condition. John 23G, shout out to my boy CM Chuck. It's John from work. What is up, John? Welcome here to Just Another Friday Night, brother, for your very first time. It was great earlier to spend some time with you outside of the office. Just kicking back, man, and I hope to do it again soon. With some cold STEVEWEISERS like we're having right now, drinking the Broken Skull lager. Hopefully we'll get to do that soon, man, as well as looking forward to continuing to work together, man. I appreciate you supporting me and coming out today to join the show, man. Have a good shift at work tonight. And weigh in on these topics, brother, if you're listening in. I'd like to hear what you thought. So we already talked Morbius, Moon Knight. We talked about Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters passing away, Bruce Willis retiring. If you're local, this is kind of a big deal. There is a street performer. If you're familiar with maybe like the Naked Cowboy in New York, Double A, you know what I mean? Just this guy that's like been around New York for a while, like in his underwear, whatever. In New York, it's Times Square. It was like a big deal. But San Antonio had a bit of their own local legend. He was known as Hispanic Elvis. Here's a guy that was just I guess your average run-of-the-mill Mexican guy, whatever, but he would dress up, I guess, almost every day of his life, it seemed like, but especially around Fiesta time, as Elvis, you know what I mean? He had his own costume. He made it himself. He would sometimes have an inflatable guitar. He would play a little radio, a CD player with Elvis music. He would dance around, do the moves or whatever. A personal story about that is that when I lived with my dad on the west side of San Antonio, I actually rode the same bus as this guy, and I got not ever really to speak to him, but an up close look at him, and he made his own Elvis type rings out of tin foil or whatever, and he just worked for tips. He never asked for money directly. He had a bucket, like anyone that's a street performer. All right. If you've been to New Orleans or Las Vegas, you've seen many street performers doing street magic or whatever it is they do. You see people paint themselves all gold and they act like a statue. You know what I mean? We saw a little bit of that in Moon Knight, right? Yeah. That I've seen that in New Orleans when I was there. Well, Hispanic Elvis sadly passed away this week. He was in hospice. Again, if you're any type of person that went out to any San Antonio nightlife things, especially Fiesta, it's going to be a little bit of a dimmer time without Hispanic Elvis being there performing. Almost everyone I know has some form of a picture with him. The guy had the moves. The guy had a passion, obviously, for Elvis that he took very seriously. You can go to some Mexican restaurants and see his picture hanging up in there. He was very reclusive, though, apparently outside of it. Yeah, he did not do interviews or sign autographs or anything like that. I think the Current had tried to interview him. He had a brother that was the one releasing news via Facebook about what his status was, and that was sadly his passing. So one more drink for Hispanic Elvis. The Hispanic Elvis has left the building. Jack Daney in the house. Who Daney himself says, R.I.P. Hispanic Elvis. At first I thought you were going to talk about Fiesta Sucia, Ray's girl. Yes. No, unfortunately, we are not going to talk about Fiesta Sucia tonight. I don't think that mine or Double A significant others would appreciate that.
I don't really care about that chick anyway.
Yeah, however, if she's doing well and remaining Sucia, well, then, more power to her. She needs to watch out for Nene, because Nene... Andrew Benitez Nene, because, Angel, his alternate persona, is, I think, trying to fight for the Fiesta Sucia crown, it seems like. So, right. Very interesting on that note. Right. How about this, Jack, since you are here joining us? it was news big on Twitter yesterday that The Walking Dead had its last day of filming. Double A. I mean, for the main series, we know that is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, everyone seemed really sad. There were a lot of tweets and retweets and, some little images of like a big cast shot. Everyone, that show's been on. Excuse me. We're in the 11th season. Is that right? Double A. We're in right now in part 1 of the final season of season 11. It's about to be finishing up in 2 more episodes. And then we'll get into part 2. They released the poster for part 2. Looks badass. Last episode that we both saw Sunday. We won't ruin it or spoil it for anyone.
The last 2 have been really good.
Were really good. That show to me has remained consistent. I know people dropped off.
Bad.
But I mean, I think that you missed out, and I think that going back, it'll be a great piece of television that you can still really enjoy. Jack says, you missed my first comment.
That's the first one we seen, Jack. So.
Which was about the Susia. Jack. So
we haven't. I'm
not sure if another comment came in, but we may have missed it, but I don't see it, Jackie boy. So fill us in on what that was about. So what do you think, Double A? I mean, like the main series ending. I mean, is it time?
Yeah, because I mean they've already done the comics. The comics are done.
Yeah. The comics are done.
You can't keep this going, So
plus, it's like they dropped it long ago that we're going to get a Carol and Daryl show.
Yeah,
and now we find out there's going to be Isle of the Dead with Negan and Maggie.
Yeah,
so we know whatever's going on with them, they're going to end up on some type of island. So it's like an island with just Negan and Maggie and zombies. Like, okay, I'm there for it. Maybe it'll be like a 6-parter or something like that. I mean, I don't know if you can drag that out 11 seasons. The Carol and Daryl one, I am very curious about because I could see them two traversing the country on the back of a motorcycle and having adventures. But what does it lead to? Is it like a Mulder Scully thing? Is it like do people want romance with them? Their relationship is very undefined, but I like that about it.
I don't know. Man, they're really just trying to milk out whatever he can from The Walking Dead. It's a valuable franchise, and they're just, I don't know. I don't know about these 2 shows, man.
Well, you and I aren't fans of Fear, so that didn't do it. I didn't watch The World End or whatever it's called.
We saw like a little bit. We couldn't even get rid of it.
I fell right to sleep right away. I have to say, what this main series really does for me is that it keeps me engaged is the characters.
Yeah.
Now, what these side shows will be doing is continuing with characters that we know, because I love Negan and I love Daryl and I love Carol and Maggie. I'm on the fence about, but she's a great actress.
I love Maggie.
Yeah,
love it.
Okay. Yeah. So especially with what she did with the most recent group, right?
Yes.
What were they called again?
Reapers.
The Reapers. Yeah, that was pretty badass. So
I love it. I love Maggie.
I think it's smart of them to keep characters we know going because it's like, well, you'll watch because of them. So, I'm there for it. Let's see. Corey says, and for you Moon Knight fan and Marvel fans, and I think we're going to get something here. Jason says, what do you think about Will Smith and Chris Rock? Well, very interesting that you bring that up, Jason. Jack says, as for The Walking Dead, I really think it's time for it to end. As much as I love it, it's time. Simple Gimple ruined it for a lot of seasons.
He really did. I don't think that guy was a good showrunner at whatsoever. His episodes were fucking sorry. It's like every season that he was in control, you had the same episode for about 3 or 4 episodes from a different perspective. Man, oh man, I was just fucking killing me.
It was really bad. But it has gotten a lot better under Angela King. Yes. She is fantastic. Yes. And that's what I mean. This is what I mean by fans that dropped off would maybe get back into it with seeing the Angela King.
They would have.
I think that she is great. And I hope she has a huge hand in the 2 new shows. If she does, I think they will be good.
I hope so, because right now Gimble's supposed to be in charge of the movies, and I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah, and guys, we all want to know what's up with Rick too. We're just as curious as all of you. Like, you got to finish that out. You got to bring Michonne back to round it out.
They left their kids.
Yeah, their kids have been being surrogated by Daryl, which great surrogate dad for sure. But
I mean, it's like, come on now,
right? Wouldn't she be missing her kids by now? I mean, like,
because I was like, man, really, like you 2 guys are going to drop out knowing that the characters have the kids? It's like, come on now.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense or say a lot of good things about them as parents. And Jack also says, yeah, that's true because she is great, but man, too little, too late. Definitely, Jack. Can't agree with you more on that. Now, regarding Jason's question, what do we think about Will Smith and Chris Rock? Double A, I want to let you go first. If you have any thoughts at all about it whatsoever, have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I think it sucks because he was laughing at first, and then all of a sudden he goes up there and slaps him like, hey, come on now. I think it's a piss poor move on his part.
Yeah, I want to start by saying that I'm a huge Will Smith fan. I loved
I am too.
first two Bad Boy movies. I loved I Am Legend. I loved I, Robot. A lot of his work. Me and my sister. In fact, when it comes to me and my sister, Untamable Amy, I can't think of two bigger fans of Will Smith that we all know and hang out with. But also big fans of Chris Rock and his comedy, especially his stand-up. His movies maybe not so much, but definitely his stand-up, which is where he's the strongest. So for me to see that and see the outcome and the aftermath of all of it really pissed me off. It really did make me sick. And I've been more than vocal about it on my own social media, including my personal TikTok, where I made a video where I used clips from A Few Good Men, because I really felt as though, what Lieutenant Weinberg says to Demi Moore when she says, why do you hate them so much? They bullied, a weaker kid. You know what I mean? It's like, what I saw was this big guy going up there and slapping this little guy that he knew he could slap and get away with. I don't think he would have done that shit, Will Smith, if it was The Rock up there, or even if it was Javier Bardem or Ben Affleck, some guy that's his size. It's like you go and slap a comedian, man. I mean, it's like comedians are not known to be fucking tough guys. They're not in action flicks and all that. It's like, you went up there and did something to someone you knew you could do something to, Will Smith. And it's fucked up, man. And it's also fucked up that, it's unfortunate that you're this powerful Hollywood actor, this A-lister, but you've been dragged through the mud by your wife, and you've been berated and beaten at every corner on that. And what we've seen here is a weak man made, a strong man made weak, by a toxic woman. And I don't like to say shit like that or whatever, because I hear those terms overused, but that's really what it is. The guy's not right in the head. He's fucked up. You know what I mean? She has him so fucking fucked up and twisted that when he had a laugh and then saw that she reacted like that, he went and did something that was fucking over the edge. And he fucked that up for Questlove, who was about to receive an award. Questlove, a great musician, great drummer from the Roots, makes this documentary and wins an Oscar, and his moment is forever tainted by that. And even worse, I was rooting for Will Smith to win an Oscar when he was up for, I think, like Ali. And I think he definitely should have won for the one where he's the single dad, Pursuit of Happiness. That's where he should have won it. So I think that Oscars are so white. It was kind of obvious that Oscars is definitely trying to give away awards to people of color. It's great if they're deserving of it, but it was almost like I think everybody knew that Will was going to get it because he'd been, whatever. Then he does this. Now, do I think his Oscar should be stripped away? No. I saw King Richard. His performance was fine. It's an okay movie. I wouldn't buy it. I really don't see the need to rewatch it. I was glad I watched it one time and that was it. But his performance didn't stand out to me. Not like it did in Pursuit of Happiness, or even in, Ali. But getting back to it, it's just fucked up. It's him bullying. You know what I mean? Then I also clipped together the scene of when, Kevin Bacon's character is telling, Tom Cruise's character, you got bullied into that courtroom. He got bullied into that slap. He got bullied into slapping, Chris Rock. Because from what I know, there are people that know each other. They're friends. And it's like you go up there and slap another performer, and then you get to sit back down with no consequences. And then 44 minutes later, you win the Oscar for Best Actor. You get to go up there, and then you give this, clearly on an emotional roller coaster, tear-filled acceptance award where people stand up and applaud you. The other Hollywood, in my opinion, cowards. Jim Carrey said it best when he was like, no one should have stood up and applauded him because what he did was fucking wrong. It's like he just disrespected another guy that does what he does. It's complete bullshit, They should have escorted him out right away. They would have been like, you have to leave, because if that happened to any one of us at our work or our jobs, even if it was after hours, we would have been probably fucking fired. You know what I mean? And so that's fucking bullshit. And huge kudos to Chris Rock for taking that fucking hit like a champ from a guy that outweighs you by probably 60 or 70 pounds, double A.
Probably.
That'd be like if you walked up and slapped the shit out of me. Yeah. I know I wouldn't get back up. I would just go to the ground probably and be asleep. It's like that's not no small feat. So kudos to Chris Rock. And he maintained composure to carry out giving the award to Questlove. That's fucking great. But guess what, Will Smith? You fucked up, man. You fucking ruined your Oscar win. You ruined Questlove's Oscar win. And it's just a disgrace, man. I mean, I heard today, I just read right now, he resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. What the fuck does that mean? You're not going to make any more movies? What is retiring from or resigning from the Academy? You're not a part of it, so you can't win their awards anymore now that you've got your one? The dude should be banned from going there anymore. And the dude should divorce his wife and get help straight up. And all he did too, Double A, was open up the floodgates because every fucking comedian out there with a mic has just been tearing up the wife and him and making up. I didn't even know all of that other shit that, you know, she took him on that show and embarrassed him and made him cry. All that came to light when he did this. So people have forgot about that. They had slept on that. And now it's like, oh, you just fucking rubbed salt in the wound, dude. So fucking garbage, man. I'm sorry, Will Smith, but yeah, that was fucked up, dude. And you know what? I did tell Double A I did want to talk about this because it did bother me. And the last clip I put on my TikTok video was of when, you know, the two guys on trial in A Few Good Men, you know, the one guy saying, what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? What does that mean? You know, and then, you know, Hal tells him, we were supposed to fight for guys like Willie. You know, Will Smith should never have struck a guy like fucking Chris Rock. He does all these motivational videos and all that. You're supposed to stick up for guys like Chris Rock, man. Guys that get attacked by guys like you. And instead, you just were like a mean bitch. And you fucking went out there and acted like the cuck everybody says that you have been all this time. So, no, man, no fucking props to me from you. That fucking sucks of you. And I would say you lost a fan. Justin comments in, yeah, Chris is a comedian, but attacking a woman's medical condition in public was a low blow. But Will shouldn't have actually assaulted him. Will is dealing with some crazy shit, though. Jason says, I agree. And Justin, I definitely do agree with you. I also, from my understanding, Chris Rock did not know about her condition. I don't know about any of my friends' wives' medical conditions, and I see them all the time. We never talk about that.
And, you know what I mean? It's like, not like this is the first time that a host has attacked the celebrities. It's kind of like a tradition of the Oscars, right? That the host always like takes some low blows to the celebrities. You know?
Yeah,
it's always like that.
Yeah. Cheers, Steve. They were definitely giving Leonardo DiCaprio the business about the young girls he dates and all that. I mean, like, again, it's kind of part of it. No, it's not a comedy show, and no, it's not a roast, but that is an aspect of the show that happens. I mean, it's like you're an entertainer and you're a performer, so I think it's some things are to be expected. You're a public personality. You can't sue someone for slander or libel, I think it is.
And like I said, Will Smith was laughing.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it, Justin. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Any one of us, if we're sitting in a bar or minding our own business, and someone is talking shit about our wife or significant other, we're going to stand up and do something to defend them or whatever. However, if you go to a comedy show and sit in front row, you need to know that you're fair game. That's what comedians do. If you don't want to be fair game, go enjoy the show. Sit in the back row. I know I've been to plenty of comedy shows and open mics. I do not sit near the front because I have been roasted before, and I'm like, ooh, like I didn't know what to say or do, and I felt embarrassed. So I now watch comedy from the back row. You know, I mean, like, it's just part of it, man. It's kind of part of it. So again, those are my thoughts and feelings on it. I've been kind of feeling some kind of way about it all week long, and you know, I guess it's this may be the last thing I have to say on it on my social media for a while since I'm addressing it here on my podcast. I have Corey here saying, haha, you talking about the entanglement with August. Haha, got a video I'll share with the Friday Night Faithful. August. By all means, go right ahead. August was the apparent rapper that she was having a relationship with, who apparently was a friend of the son, Jaden. Yeah. You know, again, all this I didn't know because I don't follow celebrity fucking, you know, gossip bullshit. I was just like, whatever. I mean, I remember like Will Smith crying became like the new crying Jordan meme for a while, and I was just like, what was he crying about? I don't know, something with Jada, and I was like, oh man, she took him on the show and like apparently like ragged him out. I thought it was about their sex life. I didn't really know what the whole story was until all this, and then I was like, wow, what the fuck, you know? Justice says, I actually thought the slap was
an act at first.
Was an act at first. Yeah, you know what I mean? As we say in the wrestling business, right, Justin? Oh, work. I could have believed that. I was like, are these guys promoting a movie together or what? Like, what the fuck? And in fact, I didn't see it live. I was watching the Oscars. I stepped away.
I was too.
By the time I got back, it was like already on Twitter or whatever, and I heard all the cursing and shit. You know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar chastised him. He said that was not good for the African American community. That wasn't good for African American actors.
No, it wasn't, because it was the first time in Oscars that the African Americans had complete control of the broadcast. Yeah. And again, all of them were like really embarrassed. Like, I've seen all of them do an interview. They're like, fuck.
Yeah. I saw the lead producer this morning on Good Morning America was actually saying that they scrambled to figure out what to do. They were going to get Will to leave, and that Chris Rock was the one that adamantly campaigned for him to stay. They was like, don't stay. The LAPD talked to him. They said, we'll go get him right now. And Chris Rock said, no, like, I don't want to press charges. He can stay. He just let him stay. What another notch in Chris Rock's belt as a big fucking person.
Yeah.
How about that? How about one more thing for Chris Rock to be the bigger person about? And he just, he's touring because he's going to be doing a big comedy tour. So he's working out his material. When he just did his first set, and people were booing Will Smith, they were chanting "fuck Will Smith." He told them to stop. He also didn't talk about it. He's like, hey, I got comedy that I've been working on for a year for y'all. I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna talk about that. He's like, one day I will. He'll probably write a whole nother set about it. It'll be fucking amazing. Chris Rock is a very, very intelligent comedian and a very good comedian. Yes, Kara, very well put. Class act. What's up, boys? Checking in from work. Facebook
Joe?
user. Who are you? Joe, is that you? Are you at work right now, Joe? Or is that you, Luck? Somebody let us know. But yes, that's where I stand on it. We've heard where Double A stands on it. Will Smith. Man, maybe just time to call it a career, buddy. So, that's it on that. I think that might have been it, Double A, except for this last little bit of wrestling news, which is going to kind of lead right into our topic for the night. But the game, Triple H, time to play the game. Yeah. Also walking away from the ring, man, hanging up the boots. Has to. What was the news, Double A?
So pretty much he had like real bad heart, where now he has like a what do you call it?
Dilapidated?
No. Where it kind of shocks you.
Fuck.
Defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, it's just not safe. It's not safe for him to wrestle anymore. He says that. I was here recording his podcast. He says the way this thing works is, I guess, if the heart kind of starts not beeping, it shocks it. So he was like, well, shit, I don't want that to happen in the wrestling
his
ring.
Body?
Yeah. Something like that,
wow.
I think. And, he's like, well, I can't have that in the wrestling ring.
No.
All of a sudden, it's just like,
cannot. Right.
Like, oh, shit. So,
well, just imagine like a hard hit. That's kind of what happened with Lawler, right? When he had that.
I think so. So pretty much what Triple H, I think, said it's hereditary. It's something that his family's history, a bad heart. He got that all taken care of, apparently, maybe, hopefully. But he says wrestling, definitely no more wrestling. Cheers
to a career of the great Paul Levesque, Triple H, man, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, one of the greatest of all time.
Dude, I have so many Triple H. I fucking love Triple H. I loved his moveset, all that. I know that, your brother boy always says he sucks and all that. I'm like, nah, man, the guy was a great in-ring performer, great with DX. Great as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the blue blood, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be a great one for the villain episode, huh? What about the villain? And he's been a villain many times, Triple H, So, Evolution, giving guys like Orton, Batista, a leg up. I mean, the only guy to ever be played out by Motorhead multiple times.
Yeah.
Who let me call the losers, isn't that right? Like, oh, fuck,
Yeah, but, he also said it's because of him that introduced Motorhead to a wider audience. A much, much wider audience, that maybe kids that never heard of it.
When and if Motorhead we do that villain episode, I'm not if, but when we do it, I will bring my record, which I've showed here once before, of the Motorhead songs. I know I'll play that tonight in your honor, Triple H, while I drink some more beers. Let's see. Facebook user says, I wish Rock would open SNL this week. Facebook user, identify yourself. I want to know. I also wish that. I am just waiting to see what SNL does tomorrow. I watched Fallon, Kimmel, and Colbert on Monday because I was like, oh, come on, tear him up. But they really, of course, Fallon went way light because he's super light. And plus, Questlove is in his house band, The Roots, who was a band before. I know that, guys. But he gave Questlove a lot of time to come out and talk. Yeah, and that was really, I thought that was really awesome of Fallon to do that for Questlove, who got overshadowed, sadly, by this fucking event. Let's see. Untamable Amy says, brokenhearted a little by Will. No, it's just not a little. Brokenhearted a lot by Will. Shouldn't have been done. As I said earlier, I thanked you, sis, for the beers, and I also for riding way out to get these for us, so thank you so much. And I also said that you and I there are no two bigger fans of both men in our circles, of Rock and Will Smith, and it just really did hurt my soul to see him act and behave that way. I know we've been on for an hour now and haven't even gotten to our topic, but the point is that it was fucked up, and I knew I was going to get to that. So, Early DX Triple H was my favorite. Facebook user says. CJ, is that still you? Let me know if that is. It's Jose Antonio Martinez. Oh, welcome, Jose Antonio Martinez. I'm sorry, brother, if you're joining us via the Facebook group, the Friday Night Faithful. I do not see your name in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We're still trying to kind of figure it out. Why it says Facebook user, but then there's other people's names.
At the end of your comment, put your name so I can give you credit if you're joining us via the Facebook group. If you want it to have your name shown, you can join us via the page, the Just Another Friday Night page.
Real simple.
Or by YouTube, on YouTube, where we're also live right now. So thank you for joining, though, brother. We appreciate it.
That period of Triple H is probably my favorite, too. DX period.
Love funny Triple H. Love DX Triple H so much. But I do also love the game Triple H. Probably his feud with Orton, one of my absolute favorites, when they're like going at each other's wives.
For me.
Yes, and of course with The Rock. Yeah, let's see. Until Amy says, Broken Skull for the win. Yes, listen, it's really good. So I'm going to bring you. I will bring you more than one to drink with you when I get home. So count on that. Thank you so much. That was a cheap shot. Yes, it was a cheap shot. Absolutely, Antonio.
My thing is that he should have, after the award, he should have just walked back there, confronted Chris Rock.
Hey man, which I appreciate. If you don't do any more jokes, she has alopecia. Blah blah.
Exactly.
All right. Hey man, we're big men. We can squash it. My bad. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if you're gonna slap him in the back. I mean, like. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass everybody. Don't embarrass your fans, man. Like just be fucking better. Like, just be a better human being altogether. And you know what? Violence isn't the fucking answer. Don't resort to violence, whatever. As we're getting ready to talk about an extremely violent wrestler and man who we, who we admire. But it's not. It really isn't, or whatever. I love what Mark Maron had to say. I love what Jim Carrey had to say. If you guys want to read their comments, go ahead and do so. Joe is in the house. Little Joe. Okay, I'm on here, he says. Little Joe from the Now Watch This with Lucky and Joe podcast.
They just
new episode is out. Yeah, I have yet to get on my way through it. I'm in a new job, guys.
Now Watch This.
I don't have my podcast time pinned down yet, so I'm working on it. I'm listening to it in segments between teeth brushings, if that makes sense. So yeah, but I'm glad you're here, Joe. You're going to enjoy this one. All right. That's enough about all that other stuff, guys. Thank you for bearing with us as we went through what we call news or updates on the world of pop culture today, including Hollywood entertainment and not slapping people, unless you are Ric Flair and in a wrestling ring and you can give someone a chop, unless your buddy that you're slapping knows it's a work. And you're having a good time.
Hey, even Lawler Kaufman was a work.
Yeah, in front of the millions and millions of you wouldn't have slapped the Rock fans. Will Smith, that's for damn sure, because he'd have laid the smackdown on him. Rock bottom.
Big time.
People's elbow right there. Oh man, the crowd would have gone nuts. But we ain't here to talk about The Rock, guys, and we ain't here to talk about.
We could be
a little bit. He may come up. We're here to talk about instead. I'm freaking closing up a 15-hour fucking day.
Damn.
Joe, if you go to sleep during this to the sweet sounds of Double A's voice, we will not be mad.
Damn.
You can always hear it tomorrow during barbacoa time. The reason why we're wearing these T-shirts is not because we're from the city of Austin, although it is the great capital of our state, Texas. It says 316 not because we're huge fans of the Bible, although that book is extremely good and well written. We're not against it. We're not drinking this beer because we're just random guys floating around inside of Specs and found it. Nope. We went out of our way to pick up El Segundo Brewery out of California's Steve Austin's Broken Skull American Lager, because we want to talk about the man who is possibly, or we're pretty sure is, making a return to the ring this weekend at WrestleMania. This Saturday night, just another Saturday night, the companion piece to just another Friday night. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah.
In many people's opinions, the greatest WWE wrestler of all time. And I can't disagree with that, honestly.
Where's my DVD, Dublin? What does it say on the front there? It says on here, on the front of this, it says, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line on the most popular superstar of all time.
Man, me and CM were here. We're seeing him. And trust me, we have never seen the crowd react to the way people reacted to this man.
He is on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. He is my number one pick for my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, and he is my favorite wrestler of all time. if you're near somewhere that's glass, I want you to grab something heavy, smash it so you can hear the glass break. Check your beeper for the 316. Because when you hear the glass, it's your ass. Damn right, Double A, man. I mean, Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin, dude. People that don't even know. Aaron B., supporter of the show, financial supporter of the show, Aaron B., doesn't even watch wrestling, but he will watch clip after clip after clip of Stone Cold promos, interviews, wrestling. He fucking loves the guy. I mean, there's fucking Stone Cold ET. There's fucking the Stone Cold podcast. There's fucking Stone Cold, game shows. You know what I mean? Yeah. Challenges and shit like that.
He's on the detergent commercials with Ice-T.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he has his podcast on the network, on the Peacock network.
The movies, man. I mean, like, one of the guys that initially got me into podcasting, if not the guy that got me into listening to podcasting, is what I meant. Listening to podcasts is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was like, at one time, the only one I listened to over and over again. I even have his podcast from his podcast t-shirt home. I almost wore that one, but you got to wear this one when you're doing a Stone Cold episode.
Yeah, it's probably the most legendary t-shirt there is.
Still to this day, one of the all-time best-selling t-shirts in all of wrestling. Yeah. Probably if there's a record or ranking of t-shirts, it might be like,
it has to be
Have a Nice Day, Happy Face.
No. And then this not even that one. I was thinking like maybe the NWO shirt, maybe the Bullet Club shirt, but I'll say it has to be one of the top three for sure. Yeah.
I was thinking Have a Nice Day, like before Mankind took it, like the old Forrest Gump.
Oh, that one.
Have a Nice Day.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely, man. I mean, like, that and like On With Stupid shirt, you know what I mean? And then like this has got to be pretty much up there.
It has to be. I mean, man, there was a time you couldn't go anywhere without seeing this shirt. I mean, golly, it was just everywhere. I'll say 316. It was like, golly. You saw it on WCW. You saw it on ECW. You saw it on WWF. You saw it everywhere. You saw it at schools. You saw it at colleges. You saw it at work. I mean, golly.
Double A, this guy was big when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I got to go to a WWF at that time event and pick up a foam finger, and it was literally the fucking middle finger. Yeah. I mean, like, they made a foam finger of the fucking, the bird, like flipping the bird. Like, I'm like, that's how goddamn popular Stone Cold made fucking flipping the bird.
Oh, man.
And I took it to a football game mistakenly, and it was confiscated from me, and I never got it returned to this day. So, East Central Police, if you got my Stone Cold foam figure, I'm telling you right now, Joe, I want it back as an alumni. Something. And that's the bottom line, because CM Chuck said so.
Joe, you got to do something, brother.
Yeah, Joe, what you doing about that, brother? Come on. All right, Double A, comments are coming in fast and furious about Stone Cold Steve Austin. What are you going to say? Joe says, you can't talk Stone Cold Steve Austin without mentioning Dwayne. We like to call him The Rock here.
Yeah,
Joe,
course,
but we definitely agree with you. Corey says, 15-hour day is a regular day for me. All right, now we've got beef on the long days here, but I like it. All right, keep it coming. Jack says, you sit there and you thump your Bible, you talk about your Psalms, you talk about John 3:16, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. You're damn right, Jack. You're damn right, and that's what it says right at the start of our episode title today. The bottom line, the Stone Cold Steve Austin tribute. This came from the mind of Double A. Double A was like, what do you think about talking Stone Cold?
It's WrestleMania weekend, and it's hard to talk about WrestleMania without talking about the man. During his height, he headlined, 3 out of like the 5 pay-per-views, 6 pay-per-views that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this guy is the reason why you're seeing WrestleMania in these big arenas now. It's because of this man that they're able to do that now.
And let's be honest, Double A. We've heard your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. We've heard my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. But if America, if the world, average people had to make a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, let's just be honest. There's going to be probably 3 guys on it that we're sure of: Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and people will probably fight for the 4th.
It's going to be either Undertaker, Michaels, or Rock.
Right.
Most likely.
Right. But I mean, like, to think that the world is going to make a Mount Rushmore and that this guy's going to be on it. Yeah. I mean, 2 of them are givens. Some people might even fight for Cena. They might say Cena in that 4th spot. But those 3 are
they're pretty much
much there, like a lock. You know what I mean? It's like, to be in that company,
So, I mean, you just, I don't think people realize, because there hasn't been another wrestler as big as Austin. When this guy was coming up, golly, the reactions were just definitely, I mean,
oh my
golly, it was like, as soon as that you heard the glass break, man, everybody just went, yeah. I mean, golly, it was so loud. I mean, man, it was crazy how we saw this man go from like, the ringmaster all the way up to the most popular wrestler ever.
And am I correct? No, but you watched it when he was with the Hollywood Blondes.
Yes,
that's correct. When he was with Sly and Brian Pillman and
Steve,
in WCW, right?
WCW,
because let's not lie. At this time, WCW is kicking WWF's ass before Stone Cold debuts. Am I correct? Incorrect?
Kind of. Yeah. Like NWO comes first.
Okay,
there's a reason why everything just changed.
Yes.
Okay, so he didn't really become Stone Cold until late. About WrestleMania. Because he was fucking remaster for a while. Yeah, which was terrible.
Under Ted DiBiase.
Under Ted DiBiase, he was $1 million champion, but golly, that whole gimmick just sucked. Yeah, he became Stone Cold somewhere around '96, somewhere around there. But he really didn't pick up steam until about the summer. And late '96 with his feud with Bret Hart. Yes, and he really didn't start getting hot until like '97. So so it kind of
that's around the time of King of the Ring and the Austin 316.
Well, King of the Ring was '96.
Okay. Oh, so from that moment,
but from like WrestleMania 13, 1997, that's when he really started. Really getting hot. His submission match with Bret Hart.
Yes.
That's when he just started.
The blood from a stone.
That's when he just started getting shit hot, like just shit hot.
Great comments here coming in. Let's see. It says Corey says my personal favorite and one of the best personalities of WWE ever. Absolutely agree with you, Corey. 100%. We do not disagree at that. And I'm sure you were coming up at the same time I was in high school at East Central High School, and it was just everywhere. Am I right, man? I mean, it's like you couldn't get away from wrestling. And I noticed now, Corey, you kind of rock the Steve Austin look with the head and the goatee. I like what you're doing there, brother. Joe says
it's Austin's and NWO 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he says DX is up there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey also says in fact the wrestling sorry, go ahead, Double A.
That era of wrestling, I feel is the best ever. Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker, Mankind, DX. I mean, the list goes on.
I am absolutely with you, Corey. That is my favorite era of wrestling because although I grew up in the 80s watching the Hogan stuff and I loved all that, my memory really, like my formative years of
our time
was really...
Our time is really going to be...
They call it the Attitude Era, and I really like to give credit to Stone Cold for birthing the Attitude Era, at least in WWF.
Yes, in WWF.
Because definitely it was Scott Hall, Nash, and Hogan in NWO. They brought attitude to wrestling. But in WWF, it happens with Stone Cold for sure. Jack says, 2 middle fingers in the air. A couple of Stone Cold salutes right there. But this might get us banned from YouTube. I hope not. Shit, I don't know if I can think about that. and we're throwing off of Facebook right now. Watch that happen. Corey says, also love the story of how he got the title of Stone Cold. Yes, absolutely. We'll definitely talk about that. Joe says, I know the cop. LOL. It was a different cop probably back in our day, Joe. But if he's still there, you get into that property room and get my damn foam finger back. I want that shit. It says, and that's the bottom line on it. And it has the fucking, I mean, it's so great. You probably can't even find that shit on eBay anywhere. Somebody find that, send me a link. So, I mean, Stone Cold's story and his legacy has almost become like the Spider-Man or the Batman or the Superman origin. Like, you know it. We knew he came up in the Dallas Sportatorium.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was really getting hot. He had a hot feud with Chris Adams in World Class. That was really hot. He gets picked up by WCW, and he's in really hot feuds. He's with the Dangerous Alliance. You know, he's working right alongside Rick Rude. You know, and he has a great feud. They have a great cage match. He gets into feuds with like Ricky Steamboat, you know, who he says is like one of his favorite opponents of all time. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I mean, come on.
You know, when I hear people talk about Ricky Steamboat, I hear them talk about with the same regard they talk about Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I heard Kevin Nash one time say that he was like, I can't work in the ring anymore. He goes, unless all the rest of my days I just work matches with Shawn Michaels. What does that say? That's what people talk about Steamboat. They talk about him like that. Like you can work with this guy anytime. He's not going to hurt you.
Steamboat has what many consider the greatest trilogy with Ric Flair, and he has what many consider the greatest WWF match ever with
the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah. You know, man, it was just fluid.
And he made you look good, and he didn't hurt you.
Nope.
And
nope.
That's all these guys really care about, right? Don't hurt me and make me look good. Make us look good.
Yep.
If you can do that in the wrestling business, you're pretty much a god, at least amongst the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and if you happen to draw money, too, that's also fucking great. Which, here we are, still talking about the guy years later. So, shout out to Ricky Steamboat.
So, after that, then he gets with the Hollywood Blondes. They have a really great rivalry with the Horsemen. Mm-hmm. Then they break them up. And
that's him and Brian Pillman. Yeah, Flying Brian Pillman, yeah.
Then he kind of flounders. Then Hogan and Bischoff come in, start taking more control. And his spot goes from a really top spot to a really low spot to where they fire him. Mm-hmm. They just said, Eric Bischoff says you get injured too much and you really don't have any marketability.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you're fired.
And it's funny, right? Because WCW, you know, we talked about him 2 weeks ago. We talked about Scott Hall, but they also let him go, too, at that time. Right? It's like everybody, like, that got washed up at WCW, they came and became big stars at WWF, you know?
Yeah, so they told him, you're fired.
Yeah.
So he's at home, you know, resting up, healing up, and he gets called by, you know, Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. You know, Paul Heyman says, come to ECW. That's where he really starts getting his promos going.
Yeah, because he said, Paul, I really can't work. You know, what can I do? He said, just come cut promos. Just come here and cut promos. And he did. And
so
they were badass.
Yeah, so he kind of develops the Stone Cold a little bit. But then when he gets to WWF, it hits a big snag. Like, big snag. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know who the fuck this. I mean, I was like, man, he's really boring here. You know, I was like, golly. You know, it's like the ringmaster kind of sucks. He's not talking. You know, Ted DiBiase is being the mouthpiece. It's kind of like, man, he's just like stiff, you know? And I heard this on Jim Cornette's podcast. He says Vince McMahon really doesn't watch wrestling. Okay? So he kind of takes it from like Pat Patterson, from Bruce Pritchard, from Jim Ross. He kind of takes like, hey, Vince, we should really sign this guy. We should really sign this guy. Because he said Vince is just too busy. He's too busy to fucking watch TV. Seriously.
Do you think George Steinbrenner watched baseball, or do you think that he got shit from scouts?
Yeah, scouts.
Yeah, like, okay.
Yeah. So Cornette says that Vince likes to talk to you one-on-one to kind of get a personality out of you. See what you're like. Well, he says knowing Stone Cold, Steve's not going to be one to bullshit and laugh and giggle with Vince. So he's like, you know, the way Vince saw, according to Cornette, the way Vince saw Stone Cold is that he was just a really good wrestler. That's it. Just a really great
your classic
wrestler.
quote-unquote great worker. Right?
Great worker. Yeah. So Vince came up with the gimmick, the Ringmaster, which everyone was like, man, that's just fucking stupid, you know? But the Ringmaster, he's supposed to be a master of the ring, you know?
Yeah. Well, at that time, let's talk a little bit about Austin Style at that time. He's super athletic.
Yeah.
Super in shape. Was a football player at
he had a great arsenal.
Texas.
He had a great arsenal of moves.
Yeah, he did. Was he doing hurricanranas and shit? Top rope
Not
shit?
hurricanranas, but like suplexes.
Just one of these tight guys, right, that could do like tight, crisp shit.
Pretty much everything you saw Stone Cold do, he was doing more. Right. You know, all Stone Cold was doing was just the brawling. Because he had to.
Right.
He had to change his style.
After the Owen Hart.
He had to.
Another very famous part of the man's story.
But if you look at his stuff in WCW, the man could go. He could fly. He could do a lot of stuff, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. You know, you got to think about that, too, to have your style be changed. But, okay, so continue on. I love this.
So, you know, that's kind of the same thing that Bryan Daniels said. When he told Vince that, you know, he likes to wrestle. Mm-hmm. You know, Vince didn't get him.
Yeah.
He didn't get why people are calling him the best in the world. You know, he was just like, okay, so you're just a wrestler. You know,
sure.
For Vince, you have to have
classic Vince.
You have to have charisma. You have to have personality.
Absolutely.
You know, he just didn't get Stone Cold, and Stone Cold kind of just like languishes for a long fucking time, for a while.
Yeah.
He gets like his real big first rivalry that I can remember was Savio Vega.
Yes, nice. The Godfather. No,
Savio Vega.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about
Puerto Rican.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And you know, WrestleMania 12, they have a match. You know, it's not that great. You know, it's.
Hey, but it's a match at Mania.
It's a match at Mania, but it's kind of like, you know, it's like, okay, he's fine, he's okay, but nothing really spectacular.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, they get rid of DiBiase. You know, they ask. You know, he tells everyone, man, this sucks. You know, the remaster sucks. You know, so they tell him, okay, go home, come up with the name. And, you know, whatever you come up with is fine, whatever.
Okay,
you know?
okay. Like it.
So he's going through the whole list, and they sent him a list, and he tells them that, he for the interviews for that DVD, he's like, they just sent him a whole bunch of shitty names, just really bad shitty names, just horrible names. He's like, this is WWF creative. This is a company that makes superstars, and they're coming up with some real shitty names for me, And it's his wife that comes up with Stone Cold.
Yeah. She sets his coffee on the table and says, Tea, and says, you better drink that. Hurry up before it gets stone cold. And that's it, right?
Yeah, and she goes, that's it. That's your name.
And he's like,
it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let me get a couple of comments. Your course says, haha, regarding my comment about his look. Have the calves built too, but unfortunately had to shave the goatee. Fiance don't like it. Oh, congrats, brother! I didn't know. Huge congrats on your engagement, man. But I get it. You got a happy wife, happy life, brother. What they say. Joe says Shawn and DX were big for attitude. Big. I agree, but not what birthed attitude in WWF. Nope. Joe also says Hollywood Blondes with Pillman, absolutely. Jack says Double A, please save me a Steve Weiser for tomorrow. I haven't tried it yet. Regarding us saving you one, Jack, let me tell you this. You want a couple of cold Steve Weisers, Jack? You go and take yourself down to HEB, right there down I-35, buy yourself a couple of Steve Weisers on your damn self, you dumb son of a bitch. I'll leave one here for you, Jack. Just kidding. Fucking around with you. Appreciate you being here, brother. Corey says, will say he didn't transition too well into cinema, which sucks because he does a good personality. Think he just picked the wrong roles.
The Expendables, he was really good at. I like him in, he came out in one of the Adam Sandler movies too, a couple of them.
The Grown Ups too, he was good. And I liked him in The Condemned. He was really good too.
But The Longest Yard, I believe.
And he was pretty good in The Longest Yard as a real, raging kind of redneck. I will say this, Corey. The man could have used a better agent, but I thought the same thing about The Rock for a long time.
I did too.
Remember when he was doing a lot, and then we kept seeing that Sam Worthington guy get all these good roles, and I was watching that guy, and I was like,
"Who's that agent?"
Yeah, I was like, The Rock needs that guy's agent. So you can be in Terminator, you can be in Clash of the Titans, you can be in Avatar, because all those movies would be better with The Rock.
Yeah,
because that guy sucks.
He sucks.
He sucks.
I'm sorry,
Sam Worthington. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm glad you didn't slap anybody, but you suck. So, Joe says Vince thought he sounded too country. This has also been said of George Strait.
Whoa.
It's my George Strait joke.
All right.
Regarding the country. Okay, we're moving on. Joe says pre-injury was a bump master. Did he bump harder than Dolph Ziggler? I don't know.
No.
Dolph Ziggler bumped pretty hard. But interesting. But good for him that he got hurt, because then he had to change. Savio took the first stunner. Very nice. Very nice piece there, Joe. Jack says good impression, CM. Thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate it, brother. Joe says, I know the name. Sorry, Double A. I know the name
story. The name story, like how he got the Stone Cold. But around the same time, there was a movie with the Boz called Stone Cold.
Yeah, Brian Bosworth. Yes, nobody watched that, Joe. So I'm not sure that's not where that came from. But some people did say Brian Bosworth would have made a good Eddie Brock.
Oh. No.
No. You know what? He would have been better than Topher Grace. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'll say that for the Boz. But yes, okay, so moving on, Double A. We get him kind of languishing in the mid card of WWE. He's been on WrestleMania 12, right? With Savio. Yes. So at that point, obscurity. So he's got a year to grow.
Well, actually, no, it actually starts picking up kind of quickly afterwards. Okay. So after he gets a Stone Cold name, he goes out by himself. He starts calling out Bret Hart. Bret Hart at this time is kind of like on vacation for a while Shawn's the champion. Mm-hmm. But he starts calling him out. He starts saying, what kind of guy dresses at Peak? It's like, what the hell is that?
CJ, I wish you were still here for this right here.
Yeah, so he starts calling Bret Hart.
What kind of a guy
and I'm seeing this,
tights?
And I'm seeing this. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah. I was like, he could barely beat Savio.
Right.
And now he's trying to call out Bret
Hart, who's the world champion at the time.
Not at the time, but I mean, he's
no Bret Hart.
Yeah, he's the man. Because Shawn is the man during this time period.
Would you say that he's the best there is? The best there was, and the best there ever will be. At the time, you would say yes to that.
Yeah, you would. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy calling out Bret Hart? Bret Hart's gonna tear this fucking guy apart.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
But you thought that.
I was like, wow. So it comes around, and he starts really beating Bret comes back, and he starts like pounding on Bret. Like every chance he gets, he's pounding on Bret Hart.
Now, Double A is at this point. Is it already black trunks, black boots, black vest at this point already? Not quite.
The vest.
Not quite. Okay.
The black stuff is there.
Yeah, he's just like plain. Right?
Yeah, I believe
just
so.
like a real badass.
I believe
bald
so.
head,
Yeah.
you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And King of the Ring comes around. He does the Austin 316 that just whooped your ass. That shirt becomes super high.
The way I hear it too is that they said like the next night signs were everywhere. The Austin 316. Austin 316, I just whipped your ass. I remember when I started seeing these shirts at school, I hadn't seen that clip yet. I saw the shirts before I saw the fucking had heard the line. I was like, what? Because I had kind of waned off of wrestling for a while. Like
I was just getting into it again.
Yeah.
So
I've been hearing about the NWO. I knew you guys were watching. I was still going to your house like every weekend. You guys, I was like, whatever. I'll look at it with you guys. Okay, it's cool. Oh, there's Hulk Hogan. Oh, there's Macho Man. Oh, those guys. But I wasn't just like in it. But then we start seeing this guy or whatever, and it was like, oh. And then I saw the clip. It was one of those Saturday shows or those recap shows, and they showed it. He's up there. He just beat Jake the Snake down, who, oddly enough, Jake had like a church Bible gimmick at the time.
He did, but he was still popular. He was still hugely popular.
I knew at that time. I knew Jake the Snake better than I knew.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I was like, damn, to see him up there with Michael Hayes, and he cuts that promo. He's looking right at you in the ring, and his eyes are like fucking like steel, man, like ice. You know what I mean? And he just delivers that line, Austin 316, because I just whipped your ass.
Just smooth.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, like that's fucking pretty badass. Couple of comments here real quick. We're gonna move on. Boy, Painkiller is in us. He says, "What's up, guys?" He says, "Nice hat, Double A."
We forgot to mention Manu, Hall of Famer.
Yes, congrats to Manu, Hall of Famer. We love number 20 big time, especially here in San Antonio.
And he gives us a Spurs update: 108-84 over Portland. It's the fourth quarter.
Very nice, boy. Keep us updated on who's going to win that one. Check this out, boy. If you haven't seen it yet, right there, we're drinking some of the El Segundo Broken Skull American Lager.
And then Joe Strenity, I'll watch this covering Boz' Stone Cold. All right.
You know what? I will listen to that with open ears, my friend. If you can get lucky to get through that, I would be shocked.
Wow.
Beyond. I don't think you're winning that one, Joe. Good luck to you, though, and I will be listening. I'll be waiting for that episode. In fact, I'm going to start my campaign for that episode now.
Damn.
Corey says,
Read the second one.
He says, oh, sorry. Shit. Sorry, guys.
I think the second
Corey
one.
says, Batista sucks as acting, but landing Drax was legit. Yeah,
that's perfect. Those little roles that he's getting are perfect.
The Bond role?
Yes.
He wasn't bad in the Blade Runner.
Small
little
role.
spot. Yeah. Okay, cool. I even like him in that commercial where he's got the white hair and he's like rowing the boat or whatever. And apparently he's in some show with Jason Momoa only on Apple or whatever, where they're both blind guys. Okay. But it looks badass. I mean, like I'm curious about it. Boy Painkiller says, you guys need to drink the new Austin American Lager, delicious beer right there, boy, in case you didn't see it. That is, in fact, the American Lager for me and your bro are enjoying here. As soon as he gets done with his Modelo, I'm going to hand him another one. Joe also says, he said, put it in front of Hitman. Put an S in front of Hitman and you'll know. I mean, this is a promo double. You have to cut. You can't curse. But Stone Cold says this, and you're like, oh, he just called him the shit, man.
And again, you're talking about Bret Hart that's dominated opponents.
Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? What the hell?
Yeah. I get it. I was a Bret fan in that little space. I was like, I love Bret Hart,
Yeah.
He's the Hitman.
Who the fuck is this guy trying to call him out? Yeah, so I was like, man.
I wanted to be a kid that got the shades, I mean, so, yeah, okay, agree.
And you just felt the intensity. He's getting after Bret all the time. He's costing him matches. He's costing him the WWF title. And, after a while, Bret's like, you know what? I'm going to have to kick your ass, So they wrestle at Survivor Series.
Yes.
They have a really great match at Survivor Series, and Bret comes out on top. Okay, he comes out on top.
Sharpshooter's him? Tap out?
No. So he gets him in the $1 million hold. He's still using that hold.
Oh.
Bret gets on the turnbuckles, kind of turns it over, and pins him 1, 2, 3.
Classic Bret technical wrestling right there.
Yep. But that feud still continues.
Yeah.
It still kind of continues. He
Yeah.
still fucks with Brett all the way to WrestleMania. Royal Rumble, San Antonio.
Yes.
His first Royal Rumble where he wins here. He wins here in San Antonio, but the controversy, remember, Brett eliminated him.
Yeah.
And there is no referee that saw it. So he came back in, eliminated Bret Hart, and that's kind of the start that starts turning Bret.
Classic heel move there by Stone Cold.
But you remember when he clears out the ring, you remember that spot? It's like a legendary spot now. He's clearing out the ring, he's on the turnbuckle. He's like this. He's waiting.
Yeah.
And then Brett's music comes on.
Yeah.
And, that's where he's all like...
Look at the guy's watch. Yeah, and he's
like, oh, shit. I mean...
Time to go to work.
Yeah, I mean... Man, the Bret Hart Stone Cold rivalry was just
and Double A, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this time, the crowds are kind of really getting into it.
It's getting more, but Bret is still kind of like the clear favorite.
Yeah, okay.
But this is a time where Bret is starting to say, you're screwing me. This is screwing me. He had a legit gripe with Austin.
I think what you mean to say, Double A, is this is where Bret starts to screw Bret. But I love that.
But it starts turning.
Yes.
To where people are like, man, shut up, Bret. Like, everyone's kind of like, man, this guy's fucking whining again. While this other guy is just, like, kicking ass all over the place.
Yeah.
He wins normally, the winner of the Royal Rumble would get a shot at the title.
Right.
But, backstage bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know any of that.
Okay.
We didn't know any of that. We didn't know backstage.
No, definitely not.
So it's just like, man, this intensity, this intense rivalry that's happening. He's like, I'd rather fight Bret Hart. I'd rather beat Bret Hart than go after the title, right? That's the way it kind of plays out.
Who is the champ at this time?
Shawn.
Bret? Oh, Shawn. There it is.
He took over, but then he gave up the belt again. And then Sid won it, and then it was like Undertaker.
Okay.
No, Sid ended up getting the title back. So Sid is like the champion by WrestleMania. And it's him and Undertaker. Him and Undertaker end up main eventing 13.
Nice.
But the match that steals WrestleMania 13 is Bret
and
Hart,
and Austin. Yeah.
Bret Austin submission match.
Yeah.
And we get the classic image of Austin.
Where now, how did Austin get that color? What happened?
I think it was
turnbuckle or
something like that. It was like a bell or something.
Okay.
They were fighting outside because there was like no rules.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. All right, that's looking awesome.
And the image came.
That was a shirt, and you can't get that shirt no more. Like he's on the sharpshooter, he's bleeding out, and he doesn't tap out. He doesn't tap out.
He doesn't tap out, which is crazy for a bad guy.
He just passes out.
And
the ref's like, that's it.
And JR is making sure everyone knows. He's like, he never said I quit. He passed out. He never said I quit.
Which feels like a face push,
right?
Yeah, that's a face push comment,
right? Yeah,
you know what I mean. And normally JR's like, son of a bitch, getting what he deserves.
But now it's kind of like Bret starts attacking Stone Cold even more afterwards. After he's passed out, he grabs a chair and he starts pounding on the ring.
Now you acting straight up heel there, Bret.
Acting like Will Smith.
Son of a bitch.
Kid Shamrock grabs him. Fucking gives him a belly to belly.
Out of nowhere, Shamrock comes and saves
No, he's a ref.
Oh,
he's a special ref.
That's right. The guest. Yeah, that's right.
Because at that time,
he was UFC.
Shamrock is legit.
Yes. Was it UFC?
Yes, it's
UFC. Yeah.
He's like the UFC legend.
No shit. So that's how he gets Bret off.
Yeah.
Huh?
And Bret's like, Bret backs off. Kind of like a heelish way. Kind of like, I'm just going to back off. And people are booing Bret Hart. It's crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, wow.
And that is powerful storytelling right there. A couple of comments here. Boy Painkiller says, me and Will love it, Charlie. The name's CM Chuck for the record there, boy. But I appreciate you. And yes, I'm actually loving it myself. I'm getting quite drunk off of it. I will not deny that. 4.8 I just read. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Is it worth the $10? I paid $11.99 for my 4-pack. So it better be. I guess it's more alcohol, more bang for your buck. Joe says, I guarantee Lucky likes that movie, okay. Stone Cold with the Boz. Damn, that's a hard guarantee, but okay, I'll take it. Joe says Brett Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania was the best match.
It was by far on that WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Corey says, looks like as much as I love the show, we know that the winners and losers are predetermined.
But see, at that time, I still really didn't know.
Yeah, it was so real to me. Damn
and Stone Cold looked like they hated each other.
Yeah,
I mean, bad.
Yeah,
you know.
And you're a little bit younger than me at that time, whatever. And I don't know that I knew that it was a full work at that time, whatever, But again, I'm very good at suspending my disbelief, so I'm just like, I want this to be real solid.
I mean, it's wrestling. The whole thing is that you're supposed to believe these guys really hate each other.
Right. When I turn it on, I buy in. Yeah.
Now, it's much more obvious that these guys, they're on social media like, hey,
it's like, not good when I follow you on social media and I just see you with fucking the
guy you're supposed to be hating.
You kind of breaking the fourth wall too much a little bit, but
it's like, come on, guys.
Joe says classic double turn, and Jack says you're right, CM. Brett screwed Brett. Yeah. Well, there it is, CJ. If you were still here for this episode, you would know.
So by this time, now it's the reverse. Austin is just exploding with popularity.
Is this shirt out? This shirt's been out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Right. Wait, by that point, yeah. Now it's like you said. Now the bloody face is coming in. Mm-hmm. He's starting to have
put
shirts.
On the back, I think.
He's starting to have the shirts roll out now.
I can't even think of a Bret Hart shirt. What I wanted from Bret Hart was those fucking glasses. Like, I was like, Friday Nighter Rob Kubis had a great pair of those.
I've always just loved the Hart Foundation. The classic, with the emblem that they have and then the names.
Yeah, the pink and it is rad. With the skull. It's also a skull. It has a crack in it. Yeah. It is a great logo.
Yeah, I mean, man, so, like, this is a time that Bret Hart is just, like, the ultimate heel in America, but a hero everywhere else. Mm-hmm. And, there's still Shawn Michaels in the picture. You still have Undertaker in the picture. You still have all these kind of different rivalries, Like, Bret Hart still kind of... Him and Michaels still have that rivalry still.
Right.
So that's still there. But Austin is, like, the number one rival to Bret Hart and Owen Hart by this point. Now he's getting up to the IC belt. And Owen, I think, has the belt.
Mm-hmm. The brother.
Yeah. So that's the thing, though. So they have like a really intense rivalry, and they have some really good matches. They have some really, really good matches. But that's when Owen breaks his neck.
Yeah.
And it really does damage, like bad.
Pile driver. The clip is pretty famous. You could look it up. Had him too low, right?
Way too low. Way too low. Which he was like, Owen has never done this pile driver before.
Yeah.
And I mean, his head is.
And it's not one of the ones where he sits down, right? Double.
No.
He doesn't do like a tombstone though, right?
It's almost like the tombstone kind of way, but the way he hops.
Yeah.
And he just drops him right on his head.
And that scene where, you can see it in clips where the refs are picking him up. I mean, he looks pretty fucked up.
It's out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. I can't imagine having all your own weight compressed onto your neck. And it kind of created a real life heat. With him and Owen.
It did, because he said Owen never called, he never apologized, he never went to the hospital or anything.
That's not your classic example of Double A of not working safe.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Austin was too heavy, or maybe he didn't know how to do it.
And he told him, too, he was like, are you sure you can do this? I've never seen you do this move before. And even Brett has came out and said, it was wrong of Owen to do that. It was wrong of Owen to not go to him, to apologize. He said it was wrong of him to do it.
The thing about when you're getting a tombstone from Taker is that
it's a 300-pound, 6'10" guy that's holding you.
He's likely got you. I would let The Undertaker now give me 1,000 tombstones because I know that he's going to hold me up.
Yeah.
And my head is going to be nestled gently between his thighs.
He's probably
as he drops me onto his knees, and I don't feel anything.
Enough where he could pick you up right where he needs to pick you up. Like
exactly.
Instead of holding you here, he probably knows to hold you here.
Remember how Kane would do tombstones? Yeah. Kane had you like too safe. You're like Kane had you way up, where you're like, okay, like. I don't even believe you.
Yeah,
that he even hit his head.
There's a lot of times.
But again, that's a guy that's like, I'm not going to let you get hurt. Even if I slip, I'm going to give space where that when I slip, you barely rub your head on the mat and you lay down. And that's the main thing, man. What did we say earlier? Do you work safe? Do you make us look good? Do we draw money? It's like that's probably the holy trinity of wrestling. And I would like to talk to some wrestlers and some wrestling promoters and see if I'm correct, but I think that is it. I just made that up right now, so put that on a t-shirt. Trademark that, Just Another Friday Night t-shirt. The Holy Trinity of Wrestling. Make me look good, work safe, draw money. Comments, AA. Fucking shit.
You're going to have to go up a little bit.
Okay, sorry. Oh, no, I got that part.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So Jack again. Another good example of it being a work is when Triple H saved Austin from a fan attack during their match.
Yeah, I love that clip. A shoot. Yeah, a shoot.
Yeah.
You mean a shoot. Yeah, Jack. No, he's right. Another example of it being a work.
No,
it is
work
an
is
example
like-
of it being a work because you see him kind of get on the side of the other wrestler or whatever. It's not. It's
okay.
It's not real.
I got you.
Because of it. Yes, but that's great though because that's just like I love that because that's like you're looking out for your guys. You know what I mean? Again, your Holy Trinity right there. If these guys making you look good, you're drawing money.
Remember,
and
you're a fan. You're not supposed to go into that circle.
That Triple H wailed on that fucking guy, man. That's fucking. I love that scene. That's badass.
When you do that, you're violating the sanctuary.
Right.
You're never supposed to do that.
You know what they were doing? They were Will Smith in it and walking in where you didn't belong.
Yeah,
Somebody should respect the shit out of them. Boy says, sorry, I drink a lot. CM Chuck. No apologies needed, boy. The Spurs still winning. Let us know on that update. Until Amy says, take her forever. She's got a bat, a skull, crossbones, a skull, a coffin, and an urn there. Damn, that's badass. Great job, sis. Boy says, I'll give you a tombstone CM Chunk like I did in the old times. The last time you tried to get me up, boy, I slipped right through your fingers just like Owen Hart style.
Damn.
And almost got my neck cut across. Thanks for not doing that. Why don't you stick to doing DDTs, boy? That's for me right here, your little pal, CM Chuck. No, the chunk was actually funnier, boy, so I'm glad that you put chunk instead of chuck. That's actually a good that was good heat for you right there. Joe says, then Owen came out with the I just broke your neck shirt.
Yeah, which I just read a story that
heat.
Austin got pissed with that shirt because they were saying, well, it's just like Austin 316.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, who gets the money? Because that's my catchphrase. So they said they cut that shirt out.
Man, cheap heat right there. And you know what? If anybody's got a I just broke your neck shirt, let me know. I hit that up on eBay.
Damn.
That sounds pretty bad. I mean, that shit's fucking controversial, right?
Yeah.
AA. What does Eric Bischoff say? AA. Controversy creates cash.
What is that fucking guy go?
Shit, it's getting good up in here. Boy says, no, we're winning. Chuck, thank you, boy. I appreciate it. You can just call me CM because I love you, like my brother. And he says, good call out. Thank you, boy. Boy, keep drinking. Joe says, Chunk, do the truffle shuffle. Not on your life. It's a little bit of Conan there for you. So move us forward a little bit. What goes on after this? Oh, he drops him on his neck. Shirt comes out. Bad shit. Bad heat. Did they ever resolve that rivalry in ring?
Yeah, he gets back at Owen. They finish off their rivalry. That's
Stunner?
Yeah. That's kind of the time when, Brent is already kind of getting ready to leave. So he enters a feud with another up-and-comer, The Rock, for the IC title. Kind of the first time they're clashing.
No good damn roll. The Rock says...
And man, there's some great stuff.
Is this the Nation Rock?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff with Rock and Austin during this time period. The back and forth. This is, where you get a lot of the shit from.
I love when you're fighting for the IC.
Yeah,
you're so hungry. It's like the hungriest a guy is.
At the time, that was still the second belt. That he knew, okay, this guy's getting ready to get elevated.
But at the time, it looks like the oval one, right? It's the
oval.
It's
the same one. Yeah, it's the Mr. Perfect.
It's still the Mr. Perfect. It hasn't gone to that oval. It
hasn't gone to that one yet. No.
But let me tell you guys, for my money, I love The Rock. I'm the hugest Rock mark that there is. But for my money, big sideburns Rock, big chops Rock, Elvis chops Rock is the best Rock ever. He's delivering the best shit. He's still doing Hurricanranas, laying the SmackDown DDTs. I mean, the man was like, this is like Rock ready to burst under being The Rock. Like he's ripe to become The Rock. So it's right before he's really The Rock.
And the promos between Austin, back and forth. It's just great. This is great stuff that you're seeing. It's like, man, and it's a classic rivalry for that old IC belt, that classic IC belt that you're just like, okay, Austin's already getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And Rock's going to be starting to get established now,
Yes.
So they have a great feud. It's the beginning of what's going to happen. Austin leaves that feud. He wins that feud, but, Rock ends up with the belt.
Yeah.
Okay, so he ends up with the belt. He's on to bigger, better things now. He's on to a feud with Shawn Michaels, the Kingpin now. Kingpin of the WWF now at this point.
And we're heading towards WrestleMania 14.
WrestleMania. It's building up to WrestleMania.
Let me stop you real quick. With what we just said with that Rock Austin feud there for the IC belt, knowing what we know now, those seeds that got sown there, I mean, it's like a movie. It's like a movie script. Like, what a perfect... These two are there, and we know that they'll meet down the line.
Yep.
And they'll meet at a time after what some people consider the greatest wrestling feud of all time is, which is Austin McMahon.
Yep.
We didn't think that there was going to ever be anything that good again. And then you get Austin Rock, in a sense, too.
Yeah.
And it's more exciting and it's more better because it's not the boss anymore. Now it's like, here's another guy that is like you.
Yep.
And you're equal. You know what I mean? Like it's like fucking two badasses. You know what I mean? Like two, like I have to admit, AA, at that time when that came up, and I'm jumping way ahead, and I'm going to back it up, but I just want to say, I hadn't felt like that since Hogan Warrior.
Yeah, don't want to.
I was like, since Hogan Warrior, had I not felt like how I felt at Austin Rock, where I was like, this is the two best right now.
And it not just in the WWF, in wrestling.
In the world, wrestling.
Yes.
And that's why it had that feel. You know what I mean? But let's get back. Move it into the path. We're racing towards WrestleMania 14.
Yeah, so, Survivor Series happens in November. Royal Rumble's in January. Mm-hmm. Stone Cold wins again. Mm-hmm. 2-time winner now, the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Now he's after Shawn Michaels. Yes. Now he starts feuding with DX. New Age Outlaws start coming around. Mm-hmm. Triple H starts coming around. You got all these big, targets now. Now he's actually he's in a heavyweight program.
Oh yeah.
And it leads into March. Tyson comes in. The whole thing with Tyson.
Special enforcer, right? Like that was huge. Like that was another big feather in the WWF.
That moment though. You remember that Monday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shoving match you're talking about, right?
Yes.
I mean, number one, it was like because Tyson was really boxing at that time, right? Is this post him biting?
He's back already at this point, but he's not as active.
And there's not a match. Is this post Evander bite? No, pre.
Yes.
See, so I remember he was kind of like person non grata.
It's kind of controversy. You don't know what's going to happen with Tyson.
It's almost like Vince is like, hey, you're not busy? I got something that you could do. Let's get a couple of comments in here. Shit, let me scroll. Oh, you guys are in it tonight. Okay. Joe says, fuck. I think specifically since Owen didn't follow up as he should have, caused more heat, definitely. Jack says, yeah, and then Owen gets his neck broken in his life. Irony, Jack? I don't know if it's... that's I should have read that comment before I read it out loud. Moving on, Joe says they had the Calgary Stampede match, which was great. And Joe says when Stone Cold threw the belt, I remember that. That was fucking fantastic. Later, I think Edge emulated that later on, I think, which was amazing. Joe also says 2 of the biggest stars ever coming up and elevated WWF over WCW. Absolutely, I think this is when the war is ending. Joe says corporate rock. Joe also says just like in comics, I think wrestling you need a great heel to be a great star, and Vinnie Mac probably the GOAT heel,
which a lot of people have said. A lot of people have said he's the greatest heel in wrestling.
Amazing update from Boy, who says Spurs win 130 to 111 over the Trailblazers. Here's to the Spurs. Damn, 130?
And that should put us up on the Lakers for a little bit.
I was gonna say we were like playoffs is it's there.
It's right around the corner. Yeah. We're already at 76, 77 games already. So, yeah.
Yeah, and toast to the Lakers losing really bad the other night, too. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck them.
So there's that. Joe says, Tyson grew up in a wrestling family. Yes, we knew he was a huge fan of Bruno Sammartino. Sammartino. Fucking. All right, drinking. Corey says, God, I don't remember which WrestleMania, but y'all remember The Rock and Stone Cold going back and forth with a stunner, rock bottom, stunner, rock bottom, stunner. Yes, absolutely. And didn't that's even...
That's either 17 or 19.
Rock do the stunner. Yes, you're right. He did, Corey. Yeah, that's 17 or 19. Those are two of my favorite matches. In fact, I often blend them in my own mind together as they're both so awesome. And I know that one of them Austin wasn't really happy about, but one of them ends up being the last. Excuse me. Corey says attempt the stunner on Stone Cold. Yes, Rock did attempt it. And he previously in promo leading up to that, he'd given Austin some stunners. Joe says, wow, can't cut that Owen comment. Damn. Yeah, I know I shouldn't do a live show so that I can edit. I'm regretting that at this moment. But
that's all right.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Again, the Just Another Friday Night podcast does not represent the opinions of the Friday Nighters. That's their own shit. So, Boy says we have to do a...
We do have a tiebreaker against the Lakers and Pelicans.
Very nice. Basketball News continues to stream in. Thank you, Boy. Joe says, saw a post that predicted this year's Spurs bottom 5 team. Fuck that post. Go Spurs, go. And I'll drink to that, too, with you, Double A. All right, Double A. So Tyson is there. There's a shoving match between the baddest man on the planet and the toughest son of a bitch.
Yeah, so...
Which you're like, what am I seeing? Like, oh my God.
That makes news everywhere. But the weeks leading up to Mania, Shawn Michaels is super kicking Austin like crazy. From here, from there. You find out Tyson's with DX. You're like, oh, shit.
And when they tear the thing out of the DX shirt, you're like, oh. Fuck. Austin's fucked. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's fucked.
But WrestleMania comes. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, WrestleMania 14, WrestleMania 12. We just talked about WrestleMania 12 where he was on the undercard.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 13, he steals the card. WrestleMania 14, he's main eventing for the title now. Against what many people consider Mr. WrestleMania.
Absolutely. I do not deny that one bit. And from my understanding, Shawn has a pretty bad back at
this moment. Does. And it shows. There's a part where Austin whips him, and for whatever reason, Shawn flips himself.
Yeah, he does that move.
He hits his back real bad. After that part, once you see the match, it's downhill.
Yeah.
You see Shawn, he's like really in pain throughout that whole match.
I remember it fairly vividly, Double A.
It's not a great match.
As wrestling fans remember things, I remember being highly entertained, though.
It was.
I was like...
But
if you see it, I was like, this is fucking badass.
If you see Shawn before he takes that bump, he's doing really well. After that bump, you see him, he's like, God, he could barely move in. He's even like, kind of like cussing himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, where he's like, fuck, like.
I mean, I remember the super kick attempts. I remember the grab, the flip, the flip, the Stone Cold salute. Yeah. And, I mean, to me, I was like, great finish.
I mean, at that point, it's a great finish. It's an iconic finish. Tyson comes in, 1, 2, 3.
Kind of a quick count. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I watched that with you.
We didn't get that one. We didn't get that one, no.
Shit.
And, that's with JR. You get that famous image of, Austin like that with the belt. JR is like, the Stone Cold era, has begun.
Is he calling him the Texas Rattlesnake already? Has he been calling him that?
I think so at this point, yeah.
Again, like the man, JR, Stone Cold has said so many times in his podcast, he's like, JR put him over so much. Yeah. The names, the toughest son of a bitch, the Texas Rattlesnake, you know what I mean? I don't know if the DTA, don't trust anybody, came from Austin or him, but I mean, he has given JR so much kudos over and over again because they tell you, wrestlers will say it on podcasts. They're like, the commentators really
does
get over.
It really does.
And JR did wonders for Stone Cold.
Well, the famous call to it, Vic. Held to
self. Oh, yeah.
Golly.
My God.
Somebody stopped the damn match. I mean, it intensifies that match where it's just like, oh, shit,
You see that clip over and over again, but if you see that clip with JR on there, you're like, damn, that shit's fucking great. Yeah. Like, it's so iconic.
It showed, too, when Michael Cole was substituting for him. It fucking sucked when Michael Cole was there. It sucked bad.
Yeah, it was hard. Which I hear, by the way, another kind of news story, but he's saying there's hearing loss going on for him now quite a bit. So kind of sad in that news because now Cole has gotten good where he's one of the better ones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
No, Double A says, no, he's not. Double A's like, no, still not any good. Let's see here. We got in the comments.
Go down.
Let's see here. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Joe says, after a long day, finally home, and cheers, boys. So,
cheers, Joe. Glad you're finally getting to crack a cold beer and enjoy one with here with us with the rest of the Friday Nighters and the Friday Night Faithful.
Corey says, I know there's a special sign or word the wrestlers use when they get hurt bad enough.
Yeah, they throw up the X like this. The ref will usually do it.
That also can change the final outcome.
Yeah, the ref checks on you usually, and if you can see it, they actually use this in other. I think they use it in like fighting as well, like fighting, karate. Because I think they see it in one of the. They use it in the Cobra Kai episode. Ah. They show the guy when they're really hurt. They checks on the ref checks on you. You're bad. Okay, good. Get the ambulance. They place their hands over the head in an X shape. That is the move. So yeah, for sure. Corey also says, I mean, this might just be my opinion, but I think Steve Austin was a bad move. I think it kind of grew on us in later times. And we kind of
I was annoyed too at first, but I mean, man, it's still around.
Yeah, it's kind of like, who never knew that Daniel Bryan or, Bryan Danielson was going to get over with the yes chant. It was like, there was like so many things that just like, dude, wrestling fans latch on to stuff and they're just like, that's their thing now. I mean, like, that's cool. I mean, like, I never bought that shirt. I didn't like that shirt as much as the what, you know what I mean? But
which Christian says on his doc, on the main doc, Christian says that it was just something that he would do.
Right, like random.
Like he called it, like Christian says that he called him on a cell phone. And he's like, well, you don't answer my phone? What? And then he just kept going. Like he said that the message was like 5 minutes long or something. Just like Austin doing that.
I like the idea of fucking Stone Cold calling Christian.
Right? Like out of the blue, right? He's like...
Dude, I fucking love Christian so much. I'm the biggest Christian mark, man. Like, dude, I bought that Captain Charisma shirt. I was like, Christian deserved better. Fuck you, Randy Orton. Right. Man, yeah. I was one of the peeps. I was looking at...
So, yeah, he said that, he would do that bullshit. And he wanted to try it out. On the live audience.
Yeah. Who's going to tell him no, right?
Right, especially at that point.
Yeah. I'm just angling the camera down a little bit only to see. We got some cool shit in the background for our viewing audience, whatever. We'll show you a little bit here. But Double A's great WWE 2K16 poster where Austin was the main star. Double A also has out here the Stone Cold Truth book. Stone Cold with Jim Ross. As told to Dennis Brent. I brought out 2 of my old VHS, Stone Cold VHS, Austin 316 Uncensored. I would watch this in Mrs. Padalecki's newspaper class when I should not have been, with Ryan Petkoff. Ryan, I don't think that you're watching, but if you are, I know that you watched with me. Good luck to your Chiefs, sir. And I mean that you're in a very, very, very real sense of the word. Yeah. But we would watch this, and I remember you became a big fan at that time. And then here a picture I have. Old school, they would sell this at the flea market, Stone Cold there, the classic with the autograph at the bottom. And then the Hell Yeah VHS with Stone Cold on there. Just fucking so much fun. On the back, the great image of Stone Cold. We had the 2 rattlesnake arms. Remember that shirt, Double A?
Yep.
But Double A, so let's get back to it. After WrestleMania 14, I mean, this was kind of like the culmination. The king's crowned now. I think he has that belt one night.
And
then it switches into the Attitude Era belt, the big round belt. Which is
great. It was a beautiful
I love that belt. If I could buy, I don't own a real replica belt. I know you own 4. I don't own one, and our good buddy Sean Smith of the podcast is a huge belt collector, whatever. And that is my dream belt. If I owned one belt, it would be that one.
That was a beautiful belt, and they didn't keep that one very long.
No, they didn't keep it very long. You know what he said? Austin said he gave someone a stunner on it, and it cut his ear. And that's when he switched to the Smoking Skull belt.
But see, that was his, though.
I wouldn't mind owning that one as well.
That was his, though.
Yes. But regarding that belt, if the one guy I haven't met, and I know you haven't met, that I would really, really want to meet left, if I met only one more wrestler in my life of all the ones we've met, for me, that's living, it would be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I tried. There used to be a restaurant up Highway 87 going towards my high school, and this is at the time when I think maybe he was still residing in Victoria or in the area, Bernie, something like that. They said he would go eat there, and I went with my lead sports editor at the time, Mr. Ryan Petkoff, presently of the Kansas City Chiefs, not a player, but he's in that front office. People out there that know. And yes, I'm name dropping like a motherfucker because I want Ryan on this podcast to talk about that and show us some fucking Super Bowl trophies. But we went to Carlos Kelly's. That was the restaurant at the time, and we waited. And at the time, I had this shitty replica belt of the Winged Eagle belt, AA, that was like it was almost like a costume style, like when they would give you like a cheap costume belt. Yeah. I had that, and that's what I was going to let Austin sign. That's all I had at the time, and I was like, if this guy shows up, I think we ordered some fried mushrooms. We sat there, we waited. He never showed or whatever. Our source was incorrect.
Yeah.
So, we were the Clark Kent and Lois Lane at the moment of our high school newspaper, The Buzz, and we did not get the big scoop with Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I did have a section in my high school newspaper for a moment there, AA, called Get in the Ring, after the Guns N' Roses song. Where I would report on wrestling news as much as it was allowed. Because at that time, wrestling was becoming pretty...
Oh, it was hot by that point.
You weren't allowed to wear certain shit at school, you know what I mean?
Suck it.
Yeah, suck it. Yeah, so carry on, AA. What like I said, WrestleMania 14 happens. Austin wins the belt. He's the champ.
Okay, so the Mr. McMahon...
New belt.
The Mr. McMahon's character starts taking off more and more. Where you're like, oh, wow, Vince McMahon, this guy that I've been watching commentate, is the owner of the WWF.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, wow, I didn't fucking know.
I had no idea.
I was like, wow, I always thought Jack Tunney was the fucking president.
I didn't even think about who owned it. I was just like,
neither.
Huh? Yeah. So to hear that it was Vince and to know that it was Vince was like, what on earth?
That guy?
That's weird or whatever.
Yeah, like that guy.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, he must have saved his money from being a commentator and bought the WWF. Like, I'm a real idiot,
Yeah, man. This is when all the challengers start coming. Cage starts coming. Rock starts coming even more.
Yes.
He's breaking away more and more for the nation. Triple H is becoming a big star. Mm-hmm. Mankind is becoming huge. Actually, I think Mankind's the first guy. Mick is the first guy. His first real rivalry that goes on.
He brown suit Mankind?
No, Dude Love, actually.
Oh,
he becomes corporate. The first corporate guy.
Damn.
Yeah, so he gets into a rivalry for like about 2-3 months with Dude Love.
That's fucking wild, right?
And
I mean, they have fucking dude.
They have some great matches, though, because, man, Mick Foley will toss his body around, and he takes great stunners.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mick took every fucking move for real, you know what I mean? So it was hard to say.
Around this time, too, The Rock breaks free from the nation, and he actually becomes a fan favorite for a while.
Right, that's right, yeah.
We go to Survivor Series.
Is this when he's fighting Triple H in the ladder match? Is this past that?
Yes, you know what? Yes. So it's still Nation versus DX at this time.
Yeah, which is great also.
But at this time, The Rock's already just... He's becoming too big.
Yeah.
Too fucking big to be with the Nation.
Yeah.
They break him off. They betray The Rock. He gets on his own. He becomes a huge fan favorite. Mm-hmm. Survivor Series comes around. It's a tournament for the belt. Mm-hmm. It's a vacancy. They strip Austin for whatever reason. And
classic Vince.
Yeah, it's like Vic. Vic is like the clear favorite because he's a corporate guy. They screw Austin somehow.
Yes.
Out of the Shane McMahon, is supposed to be on his side, and he screws Stone Cold.
I remember some of this pretty vividly, because I was like, what is going on? I was like so mad. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, people were pissed. But the next clear favorite was The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. So the finals, it's Rock and Mankind, the corporate Mankind, corporate Mick, and all of a sudden, Rock puts Mick in a sharpshooter,
right?
Reminiscent of what happened last year, 97. And he tells him to ring the bell, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he find out Rock's the new corporate guy. He
sold it out. It was like Mick had did all the work, but they were like, we don't want you because the way you look. We want Rock because The Rock looks this way. I remember that vividly being like, oh, man, that's exactly. I was like, that's how it happens, man. That's how it happens.
Because he sells out. He's like, I'm going to do whatever I want for the belt. And, Austin's kind of gone from the picture a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because for a while, it's Rock and Mick.
That's right.
They're having a rivalry.
That's
they
right.
trade the belt, back and forth.
Is this when the famous I Quit match comes? You know
yes,
what I mean?
in January.
I quit! I quit!
Where he bashes Mick's head in like 20 fucking times with the chair,
Yeah, and the guy that's filming, what's the documentary?
Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat is there, and you're like, oh, jeez. And he's telling his kids, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. Like, that shit is rough to watch.
It is. I mean, you think it's fake, but then when you take Mick in the back, he's getting sewn up.
His wife is crying. And like, it's like a big... I was like, oh, this is fucking dramatic. Like, fuck, I'm fucked up,
Austin comes back. He starts waiting on everyone. Finally, it's kind of Rock, Austin, WrestleMania 15. This is kind of the really first big WrestleMania again since probably WrestleMania 6, probably. Where it's like
Hogan,
two big
Warrior,
guns. Since two huge big guns
You're
are
going
now
back.
the main event.
They're going way back with that. A few comments here in real quick. Joe says, missed the EC baseball game, but they won.
All
Go
right.
EC.
Go.
Go EC, go. Congrats to our Hornets on the baseball diamond. We love and respect you guys. Keep up the good work. Joe also says, go ahead, Double A.
Oh, I'm so glad WWE has updated their injury policy that Austin Owen match would have stopped. Yeah, it probably would have now.
No, that's a good point. Oh, shit.
He goes, love that Double A, and I watch all the same wrestling docs. Corey goes, on a side note, and not to taint the man, but I was working in the Bexar County Sheriff's Office jail when Steve had to spend the night there.
Oh.
Didn't get to see him because he stayed in Hody's section. I was working in the main units.
Yeah. I think we know what you're referring to, but that's pretty interesting, Corey. Good kind of personal story there. I mean, like, that's interesting.
Joe says he's watching us on his big screen. All
right, very nice. That's where we belong, Joe, so we appreciate that.
Then Corey says, my biggest celebrity near miss was Nolan Ryan.
Interesting.
In fact, my dad has met Nolan.
Nolan Ryan, true Texas
I guess
badass.
that's his story, like how you with Austin.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to be at Texas Park and Wildlife event where I was invited when I won a contest and got lifetime hunting and fishing license.
Badass. Do you still have that, Corey? The lifetime hunting and fishing license?
And then Joe says, Foley for a long time was the measuring stick. Every superstar had to have a program with him in order to take that final step. Yeah, and I remember that too, Joe. It was like he was Austin's first. He's the one that got Undertaker back into like that main event scene.
Right.
He was The Rock's first guy. He was Triple H's first guy. I mean, he was a guy.
Here's
that
what he was going to
elevate.
do. He was going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
He was going to make you look good.
He was going to make you look really good.
And he was going to draw money. The Holy Trinity of Wrestling, trademark right here, just another Friday night. It's probably been around for a long time.
Trust me, Undertaker wasn't doing really shit until Mankind came.
And how was it that Mick was going to make you look good? He was going to bump.
He was
like
going to bump
nobody
the fuck
else.
out of you. Yeah.
He was going to bump harder than Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
And that made you look good.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of The Rock's highlights is that Royal Rumble match, the I Quit match. One of
I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Undertaker's defining match is the Hell
I'll
in a
never
Cell.
forget that as long as I live, Double A.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, those things are like ingrained in my memory.
Triple H's biggest matches were against him when he flipped Cactus on the Hell in a Cell and he went through the roof.
I'm like, I watched this man almost die a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking insane. But yeah, I mean, like, that's your classic shit right there. But what else here? Mick elevated Taker, Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H in that order.
He was the guy. He was
great,
the guy
great
that made
call
those
there,
guys.
Joe. Great contribution. So moving forward, Double A, where are we at now?
It's WrestleMania,
WrestleMania 15.
He takes on The Rock. He beats The Rock. He's a champ again. 99, though, I think that's the year he gets hurt.
Damn, that's rough.
He gets run over, right, with the car or whatever. He misses out pretty much 99.
Yeah. What was the real story? Was there an injury?
What was it, the neck again? I think it was the neck.
It might have been. I know that it aggravated him for a little while.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I think because he misses like a good part of 2000.
Because in one of the videos he talks about how it got fused or whatever. He finally got that fusion. And they said like now it's like stronger than ever. Like
yeah, because he wasn't in WrestleMania 16.
No.
He wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
He comes back and he he starts a program with Rikishi. Find out Rikishi's the one that did it.
Oh yeah,
Rock.
I did it all for the Rock.
I mean, he has some great matches with Vince.
Yes.
In 98, 99.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
the
still
corporate
going.
ministry is
Right,
still
the
going
corporate
strong.
ministry is still going, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got the corporation, the corporate ministry. I mean, he's having...
In this time, we got to see them here, right?
Yes.
I'm sure we saw them a couple
We
times.
saw, it was, I believe it was me and you.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Stone Cold, Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind.
On top of the
in a Hell in a
cage, they're
Cell.
fighting.
Yeah.
And I
Joe
remember
was there,
being
too.
like,
I remember
Joe had
he
said that he was there too. And I remember, like, my brain was like a melted puddle of sludge. And I was like, this is blowing my fucking mind. And I'm like, telling them, like, we're seeing this. They're on top of the cage. It's fucking
It was a Monday Night Raw.
I was like, holy shit.
We're seeing
I was like,
Stone Cold and Undertaker.
it was fucking rad. Like, so rad. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm beside myself. I have that ticket stub somewhere. I know I have. I saved it.
Yeah, this is the time he's fighting Undertaker. He's fighting The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting Mick. He's fighting Vince.
Kind of like that big 6 or big 7
Yeah.
that was the heavyweight title contender like bracket, and it was like fucking amazing fire.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's having all these great rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one that's even touching this man in popularity.
No.
Nobody.
No.
He is a king. He's the undisputed king at this time. He gets out. Triple H kind of establishes himself as a main player.
Mm-hmm.
Makes kind of on his way out.
Yeah.
Rock is still hot as ever.
Yeah.
Probably the hottest he's ever been. You know, I mean, man, it's just a great time in wrestling. But it just doesn't feel right until Austin comes back. And he comes back strong. He wins the Royal Rumble again in 2001.
That's the 3-time. They only still, I think, right?
I think he's
3-time
the
Royal
only
Rumble winner.
3-time.
Correct us if we're wrong.
And it's leading us to WrestleMania 17, which is, like, at that time was like the biggest Mania, I think, money-wise.
Yeah.
It's him and Rock at their absolute peaks now. Rock at his absolute hottest, Stone Cold at his absolute hottest, in the Astrodome, like 70,000 people.
This is that classic Lip Biscuit promo video, right? You know, it's my way or the highway. And it's like, but it went so perfectly with them, like, you know, they're drinking the beers and they're like smashing them against each other. They fucking just like, you know, doing each other's moves on each other. You're like, holy shit. Like,
I mean, this was huge.
I was beside myself.
This was huge.
Wrestling
this was
at that point.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, amazing. They have a great match, I believe. Or is this
they have a great match, but it's the ending that kind of ruins it.
Okay.
This is when him and McMahon join forces.
Right. And is this the one where Austin comes out in the T-shirt? Because he's
that's 15.
Yeah, okay. Because he talked about he was going through
17
his shit.
was like the big one, the huge one, where they're both out. You know,
because I remember hearing him tell that story.
Yeah, he was having a bad time. He
left
divorce.
He was like, I didn't have my bag with him. He goes, I had to come out in a T-shirt. He was just like,
it was bad.
He was not in a good headplace. Yeah. The match was terrible?
No, the match was okay, but not like 17 or even 19.
It just didn't have that feel, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was big, though. It was still huge, though, when it came out. When 15 came out, I was like, again, I was kind of like, wow.
Right.
It's a big feel WrestleMania.
But what's interesting right there, okay, let's get back into it. So, like, he's talking about it. It's like, you know, he's there for 15. He misses 16. He's there for 17 in a big way.
Big, huge.
But then 18, no.
No, so 18, this is kind of like...
This is where we get Hogan Rock? No.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Because it's like he's heel Austin, and it kind of kills it a little bit. You know, he's heel Austin for a while before he kind of gets back. Kind of, but you know what? It kind of seemed like it hurt him a little bit. Like, he was big, but... It kind of hurt him a little bit.
It helped Rock propel a little bit, I think.
A little bit, but Austin was still getting the bigger reactions. Whenever they would get out, he was still getting the bigger reactions. The NWO comes, and he gets a spot with Scott Hall.
Yeah, because in that time, that happens too, right? Like, WCW dissolves.
It does, yeah. ECW's gone, WCW's gone. You know, it's kind of like, oof.
Last legs, like the rival is slain, but they're just
we're
there.
Thinking, man, we're going to get this ultimate match. We're going to get Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold. Like, everybody's thinking that. Like, holy shit, you know? Mm-hmm. I was like, wow. You know, and it doesn't happen.
Because?
It doesn't fucking happen. You know? Austin claims he was like, fuck Hogan. He blamed Hogan for kind of like his spot losing, getting lost in WCW.
Interesting.
He's come out now and he said it with an interview with Hogan, where he said that he didn't think it was going to be a very good match. I don't know. I really don't know. He gets a spot with Scott Hall. I mean, them two are just not really into it. It's not a great match.
Yeah. Which ends up being Scott Hall's last match, right? Yeah. Which, good for him. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, okay.
Because he wrestles more in TNA and everything.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, good for him to have his last match with...
But then Rock and Hogan ended up just stealing the show at WrestleMania 18.
I remember watching that with you for sure in your living room, in your mom's living room, all this.
We were
blown away by
I think
the
you were
reaction.
still trying to go for Rock.
I was.
But I think deep down you were like, I think you wanted Hogan.
I couldn't deny, like, what I was hearing from the crowd. Like, I was like, wow. But I was crazy. Like, but yeah, there was, you know what? There was that part of me, Double A, that was still I felt brokenhearted from Hulk Hogan becoming Hollywood Hogan and going to WCW. So I was like, man, fuck you, man. I'm going to root for The Rock or whatever, you know? Like, I was like, let's go Rock or whatever. And I was like, nope. People were just like, let's go Hogan in that match. And
it was Canada, the home of WrestleMania 6. And they wanted to see Hulk Hogan. The red.
They really did.
Red and yellow, you know? And
and they say even he was shocked by it, right?
He was, that was not intentional. That was not supposed to happen.
Yeah. And Rock got booed and he won. Yeah.
It was supposed to be Rock was a good guy, Hogan was supposed to get booed, and
the narrative flipped.
Hey, good on them too for like Hogan even like probably calling like, I'm gonna start fucking posing.
Hulking up.
Man, that got the people hot.
And there he is. This is why he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, he is.
That right there's other. But
yes,
you know what? Damn. You think you're in the ring, Double A? Do you think you say, "Hey, brother, let me go over"? Like, look at the crowd and like, what do you think?
No, I think the whole plan was to get The Rock, but I mean,
but damn, can you imagine that popping for you to get over?
Oh man,
come on! I don't know, man. If I'm Rock, even if I'm Rock, I'm like, yeah, I can hear it. I'm like, yeah, man. Hey, brother, I'm gonna put you over. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens.
Though? It was good though. It was good that The Rock won though. Honestly, it was good. You know, I think it was better.
Okay. For the heat?
No, I think Hogan for turning. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was actually better
because then he came back out in the red and yellow after that. Yeah. That. You know what? That is interesting. Yeah. That is a good It showed that there was still that passion and hunger for the red and yellow Hulk Hogan.
He got a good run. He had a hell of a run.
I do remember that. Yeah. I think I remember being glad because oh, I got a Hulkamania shirt out of it. You couldn't get him anymore, you know.
He even won the title. He beat Triple H for the title. So
wow, he had one last
run. Yeah, he had one last run.
I forget some of that narrative, but that's really great. We're not talking about those guys though. We're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's the story of WrestleMania 18.
This is kind of like where it starts breaking down, though. Brock comes in. You've heard the story. Vince wanted him to lose real quick to Brock in the King of the Ring. It was like the first match. It wasn't even going to be the main event.
He didn't feel like it was good business because there was no story to be told.
Like, I'm like your hottest guy. This is your next hottest guy. Let's build something to this.
Which does make sense. Money. It does make sense.
And Vince was like adamant, like, no, we're going to go with this now.
You don't put Stone Cold Steve Austin in a squash match. It just isn't good business.
Austin was like, fuck you then. And he left. And
the famous took his ball and went home.
Which I think is bullshit. I mean,
I agree.
You know, everyone says, JR says too, that he did the wrong thing. I don't know. I think he's in the right.
Well, there was validity to his argument.
I think so too, right? Like, why are you going to give away him and Brock?
Well, when you have one guy that's at the top that has a singular view and he doesn't want to change that view, and since it's a singular guy, it's not like there's like a council that could be like, you know what, look, Vince, you know, me, Stephanie, and Shane all think it's a good idea. Sorry, we're going to go with this. No, he's the be-all, end-all. So,
I mean, man, I would have loved to have seen Brock at that time versus Austin. Because Brock was badass in 02.
Yeah.
03.
Yeah.
He's not like the fucking dude he is now.
Yeah, and the way I would have done it too is because like they were building Brock was being built as a face at that time, right?
Yeah, he was going to be.
Yeah, so
what was going to take over?
What I would have the way I would have done it is I have them go at it a couple of times. You have Austin win, not clean. You have him keep going over dirty, and until you build up to a big match where you know that Brock is going to probably go over and go over clean. But yeah, you have Austin winning, but scraping by and having to win dirty. I mean, like that's a narrative you tell with that. The story's already built there because that's how it looks. You know what I mean? So it's like okay, but whatever. I mean, like, what's the point of doing it in a squash match? You just kill a big character.
Yeah, and not just that, but man, what a program that would have been.
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, I would have been into it. What do we got comments wise? We got a lot of shit here. Okay. I'm probably after you, so I'll read these comments through. Let's see. Joe says, let me see. Corey says, regarding the license, yes, but I don't use it anymore. Wish I could sell it to someone who would use it, but can't. Every year I go to Academy, swipe my driver's license, and get tags. Very nice. That's still pretty cool, man. I mean, that's amazing. I didn't know that such a thing existed. Joe says, Samoa Joe debuted in ROH. Did we say something to allude that we didn't know that, Joe? I'm just curious. Not trying to get offense. Khan said he was AEW. To that, all I can say is, Khan! Oh, hey, Noah. Sorry. I was in the middle of a Star Trek thing there. Joe says, fucked up thing was that Hall was in... was on anti-abuse pills and
also pouring beer on him, made him sicker. Oh wow, shit.
Well, come on, man. What are you saying, that he didn't know that Hall had alopecia and that's why he got slapped? Joe, fucking come on, man. Nobody knew that shit. Let's see. Joe says, traditionally those candidate crowds are opposite in terms of...
Honestly, Joe, I think at that time, I think Hogan in WWE, I think people just wanted to see red and yellow. I don't think they wanted to see Hollywood. It was time.
It was time.
God,
it was long overdue.
People were just popping for Hogan.
And it helped to move the ball in that direction. Yeah. So I like it. Yeah. Let's see...
Hogan has a thing on him that he wouldn't put people over, but he took a lot of L's. Yeah, he lost to Brock. He lost to Angle. For whatever reason, he refused to lose to Shawn. Mm-hmm. He refused to lose to him. Yeah. Joe says, Austin said he would do business anytime as long as it made sense. Vince has admitted he was probably wrong, but thought it would have led to something more after the win. And, Arthur says, hello again, guys. Now I'm here too.
Hey, thanks for joining us from YouTube, boy. We appreciate it.
And Joe says, hope it's good. Hope Samoa Joe is healthy, but still AEW is a shit. Yeah, but maybe, Joe. Fourth, Samoa Joe, CM Punk.
Come on, Joe. You got to be there for that. Yeah, I'm there
for that. Them two are finally in the same company again.
And the mature versions of themselves. Come on, Joe. As a wrestling
fan, see him and Danielson again?
There.
God.
Yeah. Joe says he follows the team, not the name on the back of the jersey, which to him the team is either WWE or AEW, which I said wrestling is not a team sport. Which to he said, I was a bench rider. I didn't play sports, Joe. I was in the newspaper. I wrote about sports. I wrote about guys like you.
Damn.
So, there you go.
Sean worked his ass off in that match. I was there 30 years ago.
Which one?
I don't know what that. Sean and fucking Hogan, where he's like, flopping all over the place for.
Come on, man. Yeah, I don't know if I call that working so much as overselling. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever.
He was frustrated. Hogan was a better businessman. What can I say?
You said I didn't make the team, Joe. I didn't even go to trials, so I don't know how that.
You know, at this point, Austin's frustrated. He comes back. He has a feud with The Rock again, but this is a WrestleMania where he says the night before that's when he had his. I don't know his, what did he call it? Like, he just felt his body, like,
was done.
Yeah, like he had like a really bad reaction. He was working out with Kevin Nash, and something happened where he was like, his heart was pounding. He said fast.
Really?
And somebody found him in the elevator, called the ambulance. He was at the ambulance.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. It says in the book, and it says in the doc too. And
the Stone Cold Truth.
He gets himself healthy enough to go out there and have one more match with The Rock. And it's actually a good match. It's a good WrestleMania 19 match.
Yeah.
He puts The Rock over. And,
is this the one? I think I'm not. I always get these two confused, 17 and 19. But I think it's 17 though, where like Rock puts on the vest.
No, this is 19.
Okay, so he puts on Austin's vest.
Yeah.
He grabs the camera. and he's flipping Austin up.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Okay, okay.
Point, yeah.
So, I remember that being like, oh man, this is like so
this is where
so revolutionary.
This is where he puts Austin like 3 rock bottoms.
Yes.
And then he kind of covers over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he pushes like Hefner away.
Yeah.
And this is where he tells Austin like, I love you, thank you for everything you done.
Yeah,
for
the
me.
famous story.
Yeah.
Like it's
he's
also
like that. He's like,
which is what I mean when you trace that back to that earlier rivalry, and if you were writing a movie, that's how you write the movie.
It went from 97 all the way to 2003, over the IC belt. 3 WrestleManias. It's like, damn, that was one hell of a rivalry.
I mean, like it's like the perfect wrestling story in a ways, and the perfect wrestling rivalry in many ways. And
this is the way, like I always think too, like how Daredevil, his main rival is, or his main arch enemy, his main boss is Kingpin. But Bullseye's like his equal.
Right.
That was kind of like what McMahon and Rock.
Yes.
Like Rock was like his Bullseye.
Yes.
That's
a very great way of putting it, Joe. I really like that. Yeah, man. So for a long time, just the same way that I had for a long time, so much respect for Shawn for letting it be like, I went out with Taker in that beautiful match, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, again, I still think 25 was the best. He didn't need the
25 was great. 26 was great too.
Yeah. But again, to walk away like that and be like, you know what, this is it for me. This is my riding off into the sunset. Perfect. I loved how for so long that was Austin's. Like, I'm like, what better way to go out than go out against Rock? It's like what David Robinson did in 2003. I won the title, and I'm out.
Well, what was great is that he actually announced his retirement like at the beginning of the season. That was great.
Yeah.
He didn't say like, "Oh, I won it, I'm gone." He
happened to win it.
And he happened to win. That was great.
I mean, that's like that. I want to drink to that. I want to drink to that shit. I'm just David Robinson right now. That's fucking like that's how the Admiral gets shit done. San Antonio Spurs style, and that is great because I mean, like, damn, how much more perfect can it get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, truly going out in the truest way on top. But I'm already going one way or the other, whether I win it or not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to win it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's great. So, for a while after that, I mean, Austin does a lot of roles with the WWE, here and there.
Yes.
Eventually, he finds his podcast.
Yes.
And becomes really good at it. For a while, his is like the Liberalwood podcast.
For a while, he had 2 podcasts going because he had his version and he had an uncensored version.
Yes.
And it was great. It was great.
But, man, we saw this guy, for the first 8 years, he was struggling in WCW, ECW, even in WWF. And he goes on, and we see him rise to become like the hottest guy since like Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, man, what a fun journey that was, right? Because we were watching Monday nights a lot, me and you.
Yeah,
with our friends,
family.
Man, we're it's like every Monday night. It was like at my mom's house, at my dad's house. All the cars were there, and we're watching fucking Nitro. We're watching.
It was a thing. It was like, and at the time, it was funny because. In the wrestling world at the time, it was a thing. There was like, wrestling parties. We're having a wrestling party. I'd come over for Monday, hang out and do that for 3 hours, whatever. Dude, it was a blast. And this is why it kind of separates it for me from the 80s Hogan era, because I watched that kind of alone, because we were separate at that time, whatever. But then we watched this together, all of us, me, you, your brothers.
We followed the storylines.
I mean, it was like, even my high school buddies who weren't that into wrestling were like into wrestling at that time. At this moment in time, wrestling had captivated everybody. I had the TV Guide covers, where it was like, it was on TV Guide. It was on Rolling Stone, man. I mean, it was like wrestling was like the fucking shit, dude. It was
like Joe says too, Saturday Night Live. How many of them were coming out Saturday Night Live?
Yep, that was a big deal. I think they came out on Mad TV also, which Mad TV was like, was it going to be an up-and-coming show? Vince was letting these guys go do stuff like that. Remember, let's not forget, there was a time when the WWF, I think they were still F at that time, had a restaurant in Times Square.
That's right. I forgot
about that. A restaurant in Times fucking Square, man. A wrestling-themed restaurant. Gosh, I wish I would have had the opportunity to visit that.
Along with everybody else, but Austin is what pushed the WWF over WCW, got Vince to that $1 billion status. I mean,
and what's so funny is that I've read stories about him where he says at one time the first thing they wanted to market with him was a beer. They wanted to market a beer with him because it made sense, right? It was like an easy win, whatever. But whatever happened, the deal fell through, and they couldn't get it going, whatever, and it never really happened. But eventually, obviously, it did afterwards, and he got with the El Segundo Brewery, did the IPA first because he got into IPAs, and we drank that in one of our early episodes.
I still have it right there.
Yep, and I actually asked another podcast, and they're called like the Drinking and Geeking podcast, something like that. And I asked them, have y'all drank that one yet? And they were like, no, you know what? Oddly enough, we haven't drank that. And they talked quite a little bit of wrestling too. So, our bar, the only bar to this date that we've interviewed, El Luchador Bar, they posted recently that they had this there to order. And I even reached out to them to say, hey, where'd you guys get it? Because I wasn't able to find it. So it's interesting. But I remained a fan, man. I watched The Condemned. That was like his first one. Of course, loved him in Grown Ups too. Loved him in Longest Yard. You know what I mean? Obviously, Sandler's a huge fan of his and a fan of wrestling. So that's also fun. Fun connection.
I was listening to his podcast like crazy for at one time when I was on the road. I was just like listening to every podcast he had, and I was always following what he was doing, to see what he was up to. Because I'm like, that's so cool. That was my guy,
I mean, not only that, but here's a guy that, to me, again, when it comes to being a podcaster, and I love that we're going to talk about this part of it because, again, I didn't listen to podcasts. He was like the first podcast I listened to, and I loved it so much. And, early on, you can tell there was times, Double A, where he didn't even know what he was doing either. He didn't have any guests. He'd be down in Mexico or wherever he was filming that Broken Skull challenge thing or whatever. And I remember on this one episode, he was talking about, man, there's a damn fly in my room and it's buzzing around my head and like, damn fly. He's like, man, I'm ready to get myself into a match with this fly, man. I want to just, get this fly with the 1, 2, 3, blah, blah. And like the next episode he did, he literally like calls his own match with the fly or whatever. He's like, from Victoria, Texas, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then from the streets of Mexico, the fly. Oh, the fly's here. Oh, Austin's giving him this. He calls the whole match, and I was just like laughing my ass off. I was like, dude, here's a guy that loves the business, loves what he did, loves what he's known for. Made mistakes. Everybody, right? I mean, you're under public scrutiny. We all know he was married to Deborah and all that or whatever. I mean, but all that stuff, whatever. He has said he is very famous for also saying too. I think he does have 2 daughters. He does not really know them. You know what I mean? And they don't.
When he was at his period, she took him to England, and he would talk to him every once in a while, but not too much. He started to get a better feel for him now. So
yeah, man. I mean, but again, like I said, he remains my number 1 all-time favorite wrestler. When we did our episode, I had trouble deciding and determining that, but I know without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean? Like now, I mean, and I would still love to meet him, man. I mean, like when was our chance? It
was in New Orleans, and it was actually really great price. It was $360. $360, but for 2 autographs and a picture. Which I think is a real bargain. But it was a trip to New Orleans, $360. It was either that or get my house. And I was like really heartbroken.
Without this house, there is no Just Another Friday.
Because you know what other kills me too? What kills me too? Is that Harley Race was going to be there. So I was going to have 3 of my belts signed, but Harley Race would have been great.
On your NWA belt.
On my NWA belt.
And
he
now
was the heavyweight,
peace, right?
and he's gone. I'm not going to have that chance again. And Austin,
I don't think I knew that part of the story.
That was heartbreaking. And then, Austin, I had the 2 belts that he held. Yeah. And, man, that would have been sweet. $360 for 2 autographs and a picture.
And you already knew exactly what you're going to get autographed. You
was the last guy to have that WWF Wing Eagle belt.
You on this show have called me out before on me calling you out about not having something good to sign. But when it comes to wrestling, Double A, you have the absolute best things to get signed. I mean, like those belts. And every time we do an episode, you guys can't see my angle, but every time we do those episodes, I sit here and I look at the. Can I turn this? Can they see this? I don't know if they're gonna do it. Don't spoil it with it. I'll try to show you guys. Empty. I'll try to show you guys right here. Look, this is what I look at. I know you're hearing the fan right here. But look up on that. Let me see if you can see it. Oh, you really can't. You can kind of see a little bit of the winged eagle one over here. And there's the broken skull can right there for the IPA. But I'll take a TikTok for you guys if I remember. And check us out on TikTok. Go give us a follow. But if you could see that, I mean, like AA. I sit there every time we do the different. I sit there and look at those belts and I say, man. And I tell people, they say, oh, are you into NWA or into this? I said, well, I said, not me, but my pod partner is. And I said, you want to see an NWA belt with signatures on it?
AJ Styles is on there.
He could show you one.
Yeah.
For sure. Who
right?
even the
AJ?
Young Bucks didn't know he'd won that belt. Well, I love that story to death. But, man, before we die, AA, before this show comes to an end, which will be long after we die, there will be a Stone Cold meeting, I think, between you and me and him. If he ever does it anywhere nearby, if he ever does it for
I was prepared to go to
$316.
New Orleans. I really was.
I think we were talking about it pretty seriously.
Yeah, but again, it was either that or my house, and I was like,
because we were pretty close to meeting the Undertaker together too. That was going to be another one that was like,
I regret that because he was only charging $80.
And he's on that list. He's on. It's like Austin for me, and then him, because it's like who's alive. I've met Mick Foley.
Well, my holy grail for a Winged Eagle belt. The Winged Eagle belt will be Hogan. He's like the holy grail that one, just like Ric Flair was for the big gold belt.
Right.
Ric Flair is that.
Right.
Holy grail.
Yeah.
Hogan would be that for me. I know Hogan has done a lot of bad shit, said a lot of bad shit. But
sure.
I mean, really, the only one that's alive is like Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Macho's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yoko is dead. Brett, I got Brett. I was lucky to meet Brett. I haven't met Sean. I haven't come across for fucking Sean.
Yeah.
I've got Kevin Nash on that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is left on that one after that? Sid. I haven't met Sid. I haven't met Undertaker. There's not a lot of guys that have held that belt, that Winged Eagle belt. Not a lot. So
no, that's still some good ones. I think we can still meet quite a few of those. AA, take these comments. I'll be right back.
Let me see. I say you didn't make the team. Joe, love the Stone Cold Sean. Our Texas boys, two of the greatest. Yeah, they don't live here anymore, though. That's the only thing that kind of sucks. Tears at the end of that Stone Cold Rock match. I mean, it's pretty damn emotional. Traditionally, wrestlers hold out their back, putting the neck. Yeah, they do. I don't know if he knew, though. Do you know, Joe? Do you know if he knew that was going to be his last match ever at WrestleMania 19? It's kind of like he just kind of went, and it was kind of like, okay, that's it. I would have loved Stone Cold on Saturday Night Live. He should have got it. He should have. Maybe he said no. Maybe he refused. They would be on MTV2 when it was cool. That's why they did the famous beer bath. That's the way a white man runs the football. I like the podcast stories where he talks to different wrestlers. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it when he would talk to different wrestlers too. I know he didn't keep up with much of the newer stuff. I think he had like one with Owens where Owens is trying to tell him like Generico's a great wrestler, even though he was like, yeah, I like Sami Zayn. I don't think he knew Sami was El Generico. He did a freaking podcast driving from Texas to Cali. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to actually try to listen to that one. I tagged him with oh, thanks, Joe. He kind of said he was breaking down and felt he couldn't be Stone Cold. Okay, but I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird, right? It was kind of like he did WrestleMania 19 and that was it. It was kind of like, whew. Like, he didn't have, like, no one knew that was going to be, like, his last match. I don't even think I knew that was going to be his last match. I think I was kind of like, wow, all of a sudden. I mean, Stone Cold was badass. I loved him. It's too bad he only got a short run out of it. I know the neck and his knees were giving him a hard time after a while. It would have been cool to see how long he could have gone. Maybe him and Cena. Him and Cena could have gone at it. I would like to have seen the promos back and forth when Cena was like the rapper. Yeah, I remember that one with Ambrose. I think Ambrose kind of made it awkward, though. I think Austin was trying to be like a really good guy with Ambrose, and Ambrose just was a fucking asshole on that interview. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do
was like,
that.
I don't know what Ambrose's problem was.
Yeah, he is a fucking dickwad. Dude, that guy sucks balls, man.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like this dude is like trying to interview you, trying to like, get you to like a wider, trying to like just be cool with him, and he's just like being an asshole.
Yeah, like I don't know if he was trying to like stay in character or whatever the fuck, but the whole shit was just lame. I mean, I was like, dude, you have an opportunity here. You're sitting with somebody. I'm like, you're never going to be this great ever. You have to know that coming in or whatever, So, and I get the whole like have confidence in yourself.
Yeah, but it's kind of like there's a difference. Like this guy's not trying to bury you. He's not trying to do anything to you. He's trying to like just get a feel for you. Like everyone shows the man respect. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, for fuck's sake.
You're a wrestler. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Did I miss it? But did you guys already talk about him and Colt doing each other?
No.
That was amazing, right? I mean, like, you know, like...
I think that's actually kind of where he got the bug, right?
I think so. He said that. Right? Yeah, that's kind of where he got the bug. Obviously, he had the bigger name, so it drew more things.
Because Colt was kind of like the first guy, I think, to have a podcast. And I think that's where everyone was kind of like, man, I kind of like how Colt's doing that, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, so, I mean, I thought that was awesome. I love that Colt did his, and then he did Colt's.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, like, for Colt Cabana at that time, I think he was kind of doing a lot of indie guys and all that. I mean, like, but to get, I mean, the man, I mean, that's like, here you go, you know what I mean? And I don't think that Colt was ever trying to get, like, the big names or whatever, but it was like, it was almost more like, I like that they connected via podcasting.
Yeah.
Then they connected via. I mean, obviously wrestling is obviously there, but through that or whatever, because at the time Colt was like the name in.
He was
wrestling.
He
podcasting.
really was. Yeah,
like there was no
for
better.
A good while, there was like nobody now.
Yeah.
Because of him, it's like Stone Cold has one, Kurt Angle has one, JR has one,
Jericho has one.
Wife.
Yeah,
I forgot her name. Ambrose's wife.
Oh, I don't even know her name.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Jericho has one.
Jericho has one.
I mean, a lot of these guys, Cornette has one, Bischoff has one, Flair has one.
Matt Cardona, who is Zack Ryder, has one. Kurt Hawkins, who does it with Matt Cardona.
I mean, all these podcasts are just out there now.
Yeah, Bully Ray has one.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Conan has one. I mean, like
that's right. Conan. Yeah, keeping it 100.
And on Conan's is also Disco Inferno. If you've been missing your Disco Inferno podcast,
geez. I don't know why he has that guy on.
Fix. Oh my god, I know. Yeah, it's just the worst. It's the worst. But what about him coming back? Double A. I feel a little bit sad about the fact that this guy had the perfect ending. He's doing a Jordan. He's coming back to be Jordan with the Wizards. I don't like it. I love Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is great. Kevin Owens has been using his move.
Maybe we can finally say goodbye at least, because I was telling Joe. When WrestleMania 19 came out, I didn't know that was his last match.
Right.
It was just kind of like, oh shit, that was it.
And now look at us right now with Triple H. Can you remember Triple H's last match?
It was like no.
It was a Mania. Joe, what was Triple H's last match? Now that we know that was his last match. Because we didn't get to say goodbye really because we didn't know. You know what I mean? But we thought maybe, this guy's going to keep doing a Taker thing, one thing a year. We'll get something, whatever. But now we know we already saw it. And we didn't know that we saw it, but Triple H's last match. But yeah, now I guess, you're right. I mean, it will be a big send-off. Will he go over?
I hope he would. I don't think Owens will mind.
It's not good storytelling for Owens.
It's like Owens likes Stone Cold.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, he's a big hero to him. But it's not...
But it's not like the way it used to be anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't even know what story Owens was in before this.
Me neither.
So, I don't know.
See, a lot of times, the whole purpose is like, we're going to put you in the new storyline.
And let's face it, Austin looks better than Owens.
Even if I was Owens and everybody in the front office and everything 100% said, you're going to go over, like, this happens, you go over dirty, whatever you're going to go over, I would talk to Austin one off and be like, look, man, no matter what, I want you to go over.
Like I said,
please
Austin,
go over on me. I don't care if I lose my job. Like,
Austin looks way better than Owens does. A 50-something-year-old man, he looks way better in shape than Owens does.
But I would 100%.
Like, I would believe Austin would beat his ass.
Would you do that?
Honestly,
would you put it on the line?
Yeah.
If the front office, everybody, if Vince himself came into you and said, you go over dirty, but you go over. I would be like, I would pull Austin aside and be like,
knowing Austin, though, he'd be like, son, just go over.
Play the game. Don't be like me.
No, he probably would just be like, I don't care. Go over. just made me look good. Because I don't
Damn,
think
that's hard, man.
I don't think Austin has ever had a problem losing.
No, I don't think so either. No, I don't think so either.
You know, so
Damn, that's how I feel like that's hard though, because I feel like I'd be like, look, man, like there's so many people that want to say goodbye.
look right now. Look, Hogan was able to get a lot of wins. Let Austin just get this one. It's just one. You know, it's going to be a memory for Owens more so than Austin.
Like number one, the fact that they even brought him out of retirement. It's
I know. I wonder what
come
they
on, man.
did.
Just
Yeah.
I mean, like he seemed like really. Hey, but for the longest time, I never thought Shawn would lose that integrity and would never come back, and then he did, and I was like, wow, like that, like I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't see a lot of those Shawn post Taker 2 matches, and I'm like, was it necessary? Like, man, he did the Jordan with the Wizards thing too.
Now that was Jordan with the Wizards. Golly. That was bad.
What comments did I miss here, Double A? These you read all these already? 1,000th episode.
He goes, did you see the 1,000 where he stunned Vince and Shane? I think it was just like quick. I think he just came in, stunned him, and left.
Yeah, I even remember that quick. It was like a quick Mania where he came out at the beginning or whatever. They said he got kind of injured in that. They were like he had hurt himself stunning somebody or doing some type of a. It was Austin, and then he had done some. I remember because he came out in tennis shoes, and it was a quick. It was a. You know, he still looked good, but it was a quick. He was in jeans, but tennis shoes, not like no boots, and it was a quick exchange. But they said whatever it was, I think he stunned somebody, and he left like kind of injured or whatever. And I was like, shit,
that makes sense. I mean, even Rock got injured with Cena,
right? So now we're asking Austin to work a whole match. It's like, ugh. And I know Owens is great. Owens will keep him safe. Owens will make him look good, and it's definitely probably already has or is going to draw money, you know. So
probably, hopefully,
we know it's going to hit the Holy Trinity trademark here at the Holy Trinity of Wrestling. But yeah, man. I mean, like, it doesn't change the fact that if the guy can't go, if his card is not there, if he just doesn't look.
Well,
good,
he said he's been training, so
yeah. I wonder what kind.
Cardio, probably.
Well, sure. I mean, he needs to be training with like a guy, like somebody like fucking.
I'm sure he has.
You know, Primo or Epico, Cologne, and be like, we need to be bumping. We need to be, you know, like, because he might not be able to do that right now at his age. It might not be good, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I do very much, but I also feel as a man, like you're walking away from the storybook ending. But I guess if you get a chance to say goodbye the way you want, even better. It'll be in Dallas. So he's in Texas. He's in the place where it started for him.
Yep.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to close.
Which also, I'm sure, was a big hook in the draw. Like, come on, man. Like, you know.
Pretty sure.
Come here, finish where it started. You know,
yeah.
Like, damn. Like, all right, what a great story. What a great bookend to the whole story. So, okay. All right. Anything else to hear in the comments?
Joe says, I'm kind of glad now that Triple H went over Sting that year. Man, I think Sting should have won, Joe.
Nah, man, I'll never be over that, man.
I think Sting should have won.
Like, that felt like a complete fuck you to Sting.
That was a big fuck you. That was the reason why Sting didn't want to sign in 2001, and they did it to him anyways. So I was like, God,
they could have gave us that Sting Taker match, man. Like, you know what? I wish that fucking Taker would go to AEW just to get that match.
Well, he signed a big old contract, so he's not.
Who? Taker? Oh, with WWE?
Yeah, because he was taking like bookings.
Really?
And Vince got really upset that he was taking bookings. So
he was wrestling, or was he just?
No, he was signing, but he was signing kind of like at an AEW event. And Vince got pissed, and he signed him to like some fucking major contract.
I just hate that.
Like, wow.
I hate that Taker's loyalty is so there. Like, I would just be like, look, man.
But you know what? I mean, that's where he made it.
I know, but I mean, like, at the same time, it's like, dude, like, now you're free. Like, it's over. Like, you know, it's like Catwoman telling Batman, like, you've given them everything or whatever, you know, you've given them everything. And Taker's like, not everything. Not yet. I'm like, no, really, you really have given them everything. Like, what the fuck else? You know what I mean? Like, dude, go. Like, that match with Sting and Taker is, like, the one thing. I mean, like, and now it would be shit.
Oh, no.
You know, it would be shit.
But. Actually, Sting looks way better than Taker.
Yeah.
Owens was feuding with Rollins. Okay. Fucking Owens.
The ROH
Rollins,
guys?
they just ruined Rollins.
I don't know what's going on with him. The Monday Night Messiah thing or whatever. I'm like,
kill Steve, kill.
Yeah, that's what we miss. And we also miss Tyler Black.
Yeah, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Owen's right now my favorite wrestler. If he went to AEW, I'd watch. Wow, Joe.
Okay, Joe.
Wow.
All right. There you go, KO. We'll
Wow.
let people know.
No, I think he closed the show on Raw. There's video of him drinking in the ring.
No shit. Okay, I want to see that.
And then Joe says DDP yoga. Huh?
Let's do it. I'm doing it. I need to lose my...
No, he's talking about Austin. About how he's getting back in shape.
Well,
DDP
that's also
yoga.
good, too. Yeah.
Bro, it's in the biggest venue. He looks great. It's going to be big.
Where are you going to watch at, Joe? Where will you be watching?
Considering H is sick.
In your new house, I think you'll be watching,
Joe says, Rollins is great. You're missing out.
Hey, Joe, if you pick me up, I'll go watch it with you instead of with AA. How about that? I'll put it out there right there.
And Joe said he was doing autographs with Conrad Thompson. And you know who Conrad is, right?
No.
He's like another guy that has like a lot of podcasts. He's like Ric Flair's like son-in-law. Well,
he's no Danhausen.
So he was there doing it, but it was like at an AEW event.
Okay.
So Vince kind of didn't like that Taker was kind of like almost there with an AEW, you know.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know about Vince anymore, man. It's hard. It's hard right now. But go ahead.
You know what? I he's one of the guys I wish I could meet.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I would fucking adore that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Vince, Michael Jordan. Like, I put him in that stratosphere.
For me, it's like Vince, Stan Lee,
yeah,
Lucas,
yeah,
you know.
Hugh Hefner. I'm like, those guys are like, that's an elite cloud of
that kind of built themselves,
beings.
right?
Yeah.
Built themselves. On their
Oprah.
own.
I'd put Oprah in that group.
Yeah.
You know,
you could have Oprah.
Okay. She's not number one, but I'll take it. Let's see what else.
Oh, that was it right now.
Okay, that's all the comments?
Yeah, but I mean, man, Stone Cold, it was awesome. We saw something, you know, that was really rare. A guy that came up, he blew up.
I mean, that for us, double was like watching like the '90s Bulls,
yeah,
the '80s Lakers, you know, Showtime. Like, you know, it's like some things we actually got to see, and we got to see that.
We got to see this rare phenomenon that might not happen again.
Yeah, and again, it's like you say the '80s, that's a decade, and then you say the '90s, and that's a decade. But it's like to see, like, of course, it wasn't all consistent, but to see Hogan. And then to be like, man, no one will ever top this. This is the greatest wrestling superstar.
Nothing would happen.
You know, which people probably thought about Flair. And they saw Hulk Hogan. Then we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it was like, man, like now, then we're like, man, like there was a while there where we were watching Austin and Rock wrestle where I was thinking to myself, like, we're seeing like the two greatest to ever do it. Like,
when Hogan's popularity kind of ended, it was around 91. Mm-hmm. Austin came out 97, 98. Austin retired in 03. It's almost been 20 years, and we still haven't got a guy that's rivaled Austin. Cena was good, but we haven't seen a guy in almost 20 years that could rival what Austin and Hogan did.
Sometimes I think Cena was almost more famous for being so divisive.
Yeah.
Which it's like, there's not a universally loved...
Last superstar, though. Yeah. Last real big superstar, but nothing on this Austin or Hogan level.
And it's so funny, too, sometimes when I think about Jericho and how long he's been around and that he's great in the ring and what he's done for wrestling. And I'm like, wow, you're just not in those talks.
You're not.
And I'm like,
why? As much as he says he is. Yeah,
you're great on the mic. You're not a lackluster performer. You're a great performer. I'm like, but for whatever reason, you're just not on that list. You don't even come to mind. I mean, like, maybe if I named like a top 10 or top 20, maybe.
Even then, you could probably find other wrestlers, probably more so. You could probably name a Bret Shawn.
Yeah.
More than Jericho.
And that's that he's gone over and that he's had titles or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of weird, you know? So, but we digress. I don't know, Double A, I got nothing left.
I got nothing left, but it's WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to watch the Hall of Fame after this. I'm going to watch Night 1. I'm going to see Austin come back home to Dallas to close out his career. I'm going to be barbecuing. I'm going to be drinking. And hopefully see this man one more time.
I don't know if you can beat that, Joe. I might have to come here and hang out for a little bit first. Eat some barbecue, get my drinking on, have a couple of cold STEVEWEISERS. So it's tough. What do the comments here say?
Now, I don't know about Sunday. I'm probably not going to watch Sunday. But you know what? It's wrestling. It's the wrestling weekend right now. See ya. And I mean, that's just, it's awesome when wrestling can still have an impact.
And Fiesta has started here in San Antonio.
Fiesta.
Oyster making right now.
Real quick before we go, Joe says Taker is so loyal to WWE. He was protecting Vince and I in the Montreal screw job.
Wow. Sounds like how Will Smith is a little bit too loyal to Jada.
Joe says it's because Jericho is in the minors now. Then he says Reigns. And he goes, Roman. And Joe says, AA, I'll text you. Going to be watching here. Okay, Joe. Corey says, night, guys. Look for a video on Friday Night Faithful about Will and Chris. Nick.
I'll be watching.
Promise you'll get a laugh.
Okay.
So, that's it for us. Just like I said, have a really good wrestling weekend. And if you're doing Fiesta, be safe. So,
AA, quickly. This is unrelated. I know I said I was done, but I'm not done yet. Will Smith is done. Who do you give all future roles that he would be cast for to?
Idris Elba.
Love it. I
thought he was way better in Suicide Squad than him.
way better. I'm going to go with this guy. Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Candyman. Right?
Candyman. And also
Dr.
Manhattan. I love him. Great Morpheus, too.
I mean, Will Smith was already on the way out. That Richard movie just blew. Who gives a shit about Serena and Venus's dad?
I wanted a movie about them, not about him.
Not about the fucking dad. Like,
and you know what? I got something else to say, too. Michael Rappaport from the I Am Rappaport Stereo podcast. You know what? Your opinions were fucking bullshit, too.
Are you talking about the guy from Men of Honor?
Wait, which one?
Men of Honor, the Cuba Gooding one? Snowflake?
Yeah, I think he's in there too. Yeah,
right.
I know from True Romance is fucking Dick Ritchie.
The Brad Pitt. Yeah. What did he say?
Or Cube. Oh, that it's okay to smack a guy every now and then when you got to get respect or whatever. You know what? Hey, fuck you, man. Case. You know what? I know you're in New York, and I know you're Mr. New York. You eat bagels and all that shit, and you're the Gringo Mandingo and all that. Well, let me tell you what. I'm CM Chuck, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm with the fucking Just Another Friday Night podcast, and I'm saying fuck you and fuck your opinions, Michael Rappaport. That shit was bullshit. You should have more respect for entertainers and more respect for comedians, and no one should go up there and fucking smack a comedian. And yeah, you broke your fucking pinky smacking some guy around because you're Mr. Big Shit, and you like to fucking talk like, oh, I'm not a tough guy, but yet you get on your podcast talk like you are a tough guy. Well, you ain't no fucking tough guy. You're just a fucking actor. You're just fucking Dick Ritchie. Christian Slater was a star of that movie. And you know what? I wish your ass would have got shot in that movie. You want to talk some more shit? You want to talk shit? You want to talk real greasy, as you like to say? Come on down to San Antonio, Texas, or fly me up to New York. I'll go up there and talk real greasy with you on your podcast, bitch. All right. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Real quick, on Disney Plus, a really great documentary on the Buffalo Bills. It's called The Four Falls of Buffalo. Great fucking documentary. What a great fucking team that was.
I would love to watch.
Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Scott Beebe, Andre Reed. Golly. It's on Disney Plus. I know it's
Did we say Don Beebe already?
Yeah.
Yeah, Don Beebe. Great Don Beebe. Yes.
Man, what a great fucking
one of the greatest centers of all time. Also,
Marv Levy. Golly, what a team that was. What a fucking team that was.
Love Jim Kelly, in my opinion, second greatest quarterback of all time after Tom Brady. That's my opinion.
Great quarterback.
Both number 12.
Joe says, rapper Chuck 360 says I just whipped.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. I need to finish that podcast, that episode as well of I Am Rappaport. Are you out of beer?
No.
Gosh, I
wanted
to give you another Steve Weiser here.
Jackson, save him.
All right, I'll say. Well, there's plenty in here.
Wow.
My sister rode to the far reaches of the earth for this. One more, and now you're good.
Sure.
All right, here we go. There we go. All right, guys. Well, with anything left to say, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, I wish you all the luck in all of Will Smith's roles. You deserve them. You are not. You are not what he is. You are much better. You're a very fine actor, and I appreciate all your work. Will Smith, I'm sorry, man, but you just. I don't know. You know what? You regain my favorite Will Smith is you publicly display yourself in front of everyone in the world, like at the Oscars, and let Chris Rock slap the fucking dog shit out of you like you did him. That then we'll be square with me in my heart. So there we go. With that, anything else, AA? Okay, this show was not about any of all that bullshit. This show was about one guy, my favorite wrestler of all time. In my opinion, the greatest wrestler of all time. All of my high school career was built and revolved around being this guy. I got my foam finger, my foam fucking the bird, my foam fuck you finger taken away from me by a short, balding EC
security,
ISD, well, whatever they are, police, whatever. And if you guys are listening, I got nothing against the EC ISD police. I think you're doing great work. Please keep it up. However, I never got my foam finger back, and I know it ain't still in your property room, and I want to know where it's at. And there's just another Friday Night podcast wants to know where it's at, and the Friday Nighters want to know where it's at, and the Friday Night Faithful wants to know where it's at. Where's my foam finger that you took from me in like the 10th or like 11th grade? Not fucking cool. So I want my foam finger back because I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line. And you can't find them on eBay because foam fingers like deteriorate after so many years, and I know it didn't deteriorate to nothing, and I want it back. So there's that. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, man, Double A, we had the pleasure of seeing him wrestle in real life.
Yes, we did.
I never had the pleasure of being in his presence, and we've been in the presence of a lot of great wrestlers.
Yeah, we
Kenny
have.
Omega,
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart, Mick Foley,
Kevin Nash,
Kurt
AJ
Angle,
Styles, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon,
Carlito,
MVP,
MVP.
Tommy Dreamer, Billy Gunn.
We've been right
Morrison,
there. We held
Kurt Angle.
We shook their hands, but they all don't hold the candle to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Joe says, "What?
I'm listening, Joe. I'm listening." Yeah, and then that is very much on my bucket list. I would love nothing more than to be there with this man when it goes down.
Oh, and Joe says he needs to move with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I recently saw something very cool. El Luchador Bar is going to have a band playing there called Thunder Rosa.
Hey.
And the people in the comments were saying, "Are you getting Thunder Rosa the wrestler?" And Jesse, one of the co-owners, said, "Man, a lot of people have been asking that. I'm going to see what I can do." So I would love nothing more than to go to El Luchador Bar and hear the band Thunder Rosa while the wrestler, the AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa, is also there.
Shit, maybe they should call Oscar to.
And just maybe call Oscar. At a wrestling themed bar. The whole thing sounds fucking fantastic.
A wrestling themed bar, a wrestling shop. Maybe they should get together.
And then Thunder Rosa unveils a masked version of her character. Whatever it is, guys, it's WrestleMania weekend. I love wrestling. Double A loves wrestling. Obviously, this man is more of the encyclopedia than I am. However, it does not change any fact or feeling about how I feel about the product. I love it in any shape, form, or label it comes under. If the wrestling is good, I'm there for it. I will watch clips. I will go back and watch
We've
YouTube
been to
videos.
many shows.
Everything, many shows. I challenge anyone out there. Oh, I have many of my autographs on my wall, so you can come in my garage anytime, and we can compare dicks if that's what you want.
Hey,
yeah, tonight is about the man on my shirt and the man on this guy's shirt. Stone Cold Steve Austin, in my opinion, again, my first ballot pick for my Mount Rushmore, my favorite wrestler of all time, my one bucket list, my dream list autograph to get via wrestlers is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I need a really great figure to get it onto. I'm thinking figure, or I get myself a version of the Smoking Skull or that Attitude Era belt. Those are my two.
Maybe
Sean,
Smoking Skull.
Yeah, that's especially great. We only get him on that one.
Yeah,
But Sean Smith, I know you're out there, buddy.
Or you get the Rock too.
Yeah, you get the. That's true.
He stole it.
That's true. He did steal it. Yeah, sure, he's got it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's right. His suit.
His suit. I love that. Final comments from Joe.
Asshole,
Joe says.
Golly.
Just says, yeah, the Young Bucks. Yes, we were there with them as well in that vicinity.
And the Kingdom.
Yeah, and the Kingdom. Joe says, bro, hell yeah, Rosa. Rosa needs a WrestleMania moment. Yes, she does, very much so, and I do agree with you on that. Why not? He says, good night, boys. Joe, good night. Thank you for being here, hanging out all night, brother.
Yeah,
all
you,
your
bro.
great comments, all your great input, always welcome. We cannot wait for your next episode, man. Get it out, and I do promise to finish up the current episode as soon as possible. Also, head out to Atomic Comics and more tomorrow night from 5 to 8. Lucky the Dork Dad will be there. They're having a trade show. Take your toys, take your comics, take whatever things you want to trade. Javi has a great toy shop with comic books also in it, and Lucky the Dork Dad will be there. And I'm hoping that Little Joe, also of Now Watch This, will also show up if he's not too balls deep in WrestleMania. I'm going to try to go for a little bit if I can, and then come watch some wrestling with this guy right here and see this guy right here. Double A, what's the bottom line for you?
He's the greatest.
There it is, right there. Something we like to say, guys, before we end every episode of the Just Another Friday Night podcast, we like to bring you a little few quotes from two of our favorite sources. One, the movie Dead Poets Society, where Robin Williams very carefully and very skillfully instructs us to, in fact, seize the day. If there's something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish, something that you hope and dream for, why wait? Do it now. Go out there and seize the day. Now is the time to grab the bull by the horns and do so. The other is from an equally great man as Robin Williams, Captain America himself, Chris Evans, in the great comic book film Endgame, where he reminds the team before they head back for the time heist that they have to do whatever it takes in order to get it done. To which Rocket says he's pretty good at that, and he's agree. Good at that, right? He is indeed good at that. Guys, do whatever it takes. Seize the day and do whatever it takes. And the only thing else that we could say is that, and that's the bottom line, because Double A, CM Chuck, and Stone Cold said so. Oh, yeah. Good night, you dumb son of a...